speed limits as a suggestion is leading to preventable tragedies. While impairment and lack of seatbelts are the top causes of fatal crashes, speeding increases the danger. Superintendent Grant St. Germain says drivers cannot control their vehicles at high speeds.
People just don't realize that you have an accident and you're doing over the speed limits and you blow a front tire. You're going for a ride because you can't control that vehicle. And again, all of this stuff is a choice that's made by the person driving the vehicle.
St. Germain urges motorists to slow down this long weekend. It was a busy weekend last weekend for Saskatchewan RCMP. In a 6-hour span, Mounties on the last mountain lake dumped over 100 containers of alcohol and issued 7 tickets. The tickets include open alcohol on a boat, operating a boat without a license, open alcohol on shore, and they issued several warnings for lack of life jacket use. Mounties also conducted 20 mandatory alcohol screenings, with multiple boaters coming close to the provincial suspension limit. So as this long weekend approaches, RCMP are reminding people that boats are not exempt from liquor laws. WestJet and its flight attendants union are continuing their contract talks as the clock ticks closer to a possible strike. If a deal has not been reached by Sunday morning, either side could begin a work stoppage that would see hundreds of flights canceled during a long weekend in much of the country. WestJet customer Callie Adams, flying out of Toronto's Pearson Airport on Friday morning, was hopeful her return flight wouldn't get canceled as the strike deadline looms.
We're very early for our flight, which leaves at 1, and we're supposed to come back next Saturday. If we don't make it, then my work will be hearing from me on Monday morning.
Ahead of the potential strike, WestJet has been allowing passengers traveling between July 30th and October 4th to make a one-time change or cancellation with no fees. Ticket holders given notice of a cancellation due to the strike are eligible for refunds. Queen City X organizers say guests can beat the heat while enjoying the summer fair by staying hydrated and taking breaks in cooler areas. The event at Regina's Real District includes shade tents, water refill stations, and indoor spaces with air conditioning. With temperatures expected to rise into the low 30s, officials are reminding visitors to plan ahead and watch for heat exhaustion. Regina Pats fans are excited for the upcoming WHL season after the team announced cheaper ticket prices. The team made the announcement yesterday and now offer one of the cheapest ticket prices in the league. Pats fans say it's great news to hear.
I am so excited. This is going to allow so many more people the opportunity to go and check them out and cheer them on.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy to hear that.
The lowest ticket prices now sit at $12.25. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Weather for B&A Petroleum and Swift Current, with multiple locations serving southern Saskatchewan for over 30 years. See B&A Petroleum for all your fuel and propane needs.
Weather tonight, we got a clear sky, maybe an isolated shower later, a low down to 15 tomorrow, sunshine and hot. 33 degrees tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. We're going to have isolated showers in the area, low down to 20. Sunday, mostly sunny but breezy, high of 30. It's coming out of the southwest, 20-35, gusts up to 45. Monday, partly sunny, isolated showers in the area, again, high of 21. Tuesday, mostly sunny, some isolated showers by the evening, and a high of 24. Right now, corner of 12th and Rose, it is 27 degrees under a clear sky. It feels like 31.
B&A Petroleum is a southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs, with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It's a hot one out there, and we are, what is it, 26 hours away from kickoff in Edmonton. What a game. It is going to be exciting. Riders, Elks tomorrow. We're getting you into the weekend here on the Sports Cage for SAS today. Thank you very much. However you're listening, whether it is on the radio, through the audio streams, or watching along on YouTube. Colson's with me, but we got guests coming in and out over the next 3 hours. The rundown of the show for sastoday.ca sounds like this. We're going to talk to Luc Mullinder. He's on his way to a golf course, I think, in Edmonton. The fellas are there, as are the Riders. For tomorrow's game, we'll talk to Luc. We'll break down the game for you in moments. With the Regina Pats yesterday going with a discounted ticket, revamping their ticket structure, there was a lot of talk and a lot of text messages yesterday about it's about time, things like that. We're going to bring in a former owner of the Regina Pats, Brent Parker. Is going to be in studio with me. We're going to talk about his years, the challenges of a Western Hockey League ownership group, what it might be in 2026. What are franchises worth? Have you ever looked that up? So we'll talk to Brent in hour one. Caleb Sanders in hour one from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We'll hear from him. Hour two, Lotto Lawrence is going to join me in studio. We're going to go behind the face mask for tomorrow. Give you a couple teases there. We're going to hear from Johnny Johnson the third. Also, hour two is when Farhan Lalji comes in and chats with us. He called the game last night. We're going to get to that game in a moment. We'll also have the Clutch Performer, some good local content, thanks to the text messages for the Clutch Performer today. Hour number three, Morley Scott, voice of the Edmonton Elks, will tee up the game with us. We're also going to hear some audio from Mark Killam, head coach of the Edmonton Elks. Very interesting comments this week. And Prairie Golf Gems back. It's a bi-weekly feature we do here on the Sports Cage. Today we're looking at the nice little 9-banger Manitou Golf Club, out just outside of Watrous, Saskatchewan. So that's in hour three. We always love when you participate and you throw your comments at us. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line, 600 Albert Street. Walk in, you're going to see the owner. If you go in the back, they're playing 620 CKRM and the Sports Cage. They can rent you anything you need for a job, or if you want to buy the Husqvarna tools, lawnmowers, robotic lawnmowers, they can help you out there. And then all of our guests are on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Think about a Western pizza tonight for supper. All those toppings, the cheese, right out of the oven. Or maybe you want to go with the lasagna, the burgers, the salad, something like that. Western Pizza guest hotline will be buzzing today. Okay, first off, I took BC -8 last night because I just don't know what Winnipeg is all about. I'm glad I did that. Did you guys catch the game? BC 35-19 win. They kept panning the crowd, Colson. Bomber fans look bewildered, I guess. We're like, what, who? First off, who is Caden Salter? Any relation to Lisa? This guy at the quarterback position did a job, and then Xander Horvath. You got a monster, him, right? What he was 191 yards, 17 carries, and then Lisa's nephew had 10 for 160 from the quarterback. And I'll say this. I'll say the Yacht Club was right on a number of things. Kevin, regular on the text line, Sports Cage listener, Kevin hammered Brady Oliveira over 62.5. He was well over that. I feel it was a good night of sprinkling for the Sports Cage listeners. But yeah, did you honestly, what did you honestly think going into that game? I know you don't sprinkle, but what did you think?
I wasn't expecting a BC blowout just because we've seen both these teams struggling. But yeah, having seen what BC did to Winnipeg. It reminds me, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, where Brady Oliveira said, we don't know what our identity is on offense. And now I think the team is kind of showing that too. So
yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah, tonight, and we'll get to this in hour 2 when Lotto Lawrence comes in. I'm thinking, I'm feeling a little Ottawa Red Blacks cover. Now, do I think Ottawa is going to win tonight? Let's not get crazy yet.
Yeah,
that might be like a little chunk of a unit to go down there. But Ottawa, at some places, getting up to 8 points, I'm seeing. 6.5 in other 6.5. I don't know about that. I might move that line closer to 7.5 or 8. But Ottawa's at home to Montreal. People, if you say, hey, Barney, you're crazy, you need to check your studio for a gas leak, Barney. Hold the phones. Because remember, Hamilton almost beat Montreal. Could have beat Montreal last week. So,
yeah.
Ottawa, a lot of people hate the term, but is this a trap game for Montreal?
How many times are we going to say that this year with Ottawa? Is this a trap game? Is Ottawa finally going to win one?
Well, I hope it is. I'd like to see Montreal go down.
Oh yeah,
Ottawa get off the schneid, get their first win. Okay, tomorrow, Colson. I had a chance. I was lucky enough to hop on the. Oh, before I get to that,
yeah.
Forgot about this little that we start today. Rider fans, CFL fans. It starts today. The TacoTime Hot Take. A $50 gift card to TacoTime, which I think I'm having for supper tonight. That was a hint that I threw out. Mexi fries, let's go. Throughout the show, when we cue you, like right now, at 936-6262. Today, we're just going to do texts. We're just going to do text messages. We want your hot take on the game tomorrow. It could be wild. It could be crazy. We're going to read some of them if they're radio and stream worthy. Colson's going to put them all into the wheel of winning later, spin one out, and you walk away with a $50 gift card from TacoTime. Thanks to our friends at TacoTime. The Mexi Fries Deluxe, if you've never tried it, you're missing out. It's like buying a Corvette. You got to do two things in life. Buy a Corvette and from Regina Motor Products and have some Mexi Fries Deluxe. So, hot take. What do you think? Do you have a hot take for tomorrow, Colson?
I'll come up with one by the end of the show.
I'll go with I'll think of one too. I'll think of a better one. I had a good one, but I don't want to myself.
Here, I'll do my hot take right now. I just thought of one. My hot take is that Edmonton will have 37,000 plus fans in the stadium.
Yeah. And it's trending that way, isn't it? You've been ears to the ground on this. Where do we land right now?
Our buddy Matt Young just posted like 15 minutes ago. So here, I'll throw the update up. We're currently sitting at 26,734 sold distributed. Capacity is at 31,885. So about 5,000 tickets remaining. They have opened up 3 sections on the upper deck. You can see at the bottom of the picture there if you're watching on the stream.
Yeah.
So we do have their first open upper decker in like 3 years. So
yeah, I put that down. Okay, so what I got here, I was fortunate enough. The fellas from Edmonton Sports Talk had me on the morning show today. Lieutenant Eric and I, and his host Dusty wasn't there. Had a nice little chat, and they just asked about the mood and everything. I said early the day after there were people that wanted Josh Bell's. They wanted him fired. I said those are what we call crazy people. I said it's all good. We gained a lot of respect for the Elks. Me personally, for sure. And then we talked about the crowd. 32,000. The last time they had 32,000 in the concrete stadium there. Yeah, concrete jungle, sure. 2024 Labor Day rematch. So not that long ago, a couple of years ago. 35,000. You got to go back. And we all want to think that this isn't that long ago, but it's starting to get up there. 8 years ago in 2018. The last time they had 35,000 in there. So if we can get to 37. Yeah. And then they had, I guess, the tailgate people that are going, people that messaged in throughout the week, people that are, the tailgate is going to be off the charts. Like, so Benny, Andrew, who else? There was a Shelley yesterday that messaged in. Jeff, if you're going, go to the tailgate. That's what there's a band, live music. I'm not sure if it's country western or rock and roll, but there'll be live music. Colson, I just want to say, and I know you talked to him, thank you to our friend Matt Young.
Yeah.
Are you going to the game tomorrow? What are you thinking? I wish I was in the Edmonton area. Go take in the Elks and Riders. Instead, I'll be on the boat listening to the fellas, Luke and Dave, calling the game right here on 620 CKRM. Back to the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262. Des is asking what I'm thinking for sprinkles tomorrow. I don't know. Specifically, he's asking what's Harris passing over 320. That's the line that he got. I haven't seen that yet. I would say over. Des, I don't know. Let me know what you're thinking out there. I don't know about the spread too. That's all for tomorrow morning. I'm gonna have to come up with it. I'm really jacked for this game, I think, along with a lot of you. Western Pizza guest hotline. Here we go. It's Friday. Cooking's for the birds. Maybe you're heading to the lake. Grab a wheel. And when you get to the lake, you got supper made. Maybe a dry rib, salad on the side, souvlaki, lasagna, the burgers. Your local Western Pizza's got you hooked up. The sponsor of the Western Pizza guest hotline. Our football analyst, Luc Mullinder, is on the horn here. He's joining us on the phone because he's golfing. Guys, got to get some golf in when he's in Edmonton. Making me jealous, Luke, for sure. Okay, back-to-backs against a team. What are the keys when teams go back-to-back weeks and playing each other?
Well, the first key is assessing where, if you won or you lost, regardless, is assessing where the mistakes were made, right? I think that there's a number of things that the Riders want to do. Obviously, they mentioned it after the game and mentioned it a couple times this week. The communication on the back end needs to be a little bit better. So there's that. And I think that you always just make sure that the things that you can control or could have controlled a lot better in the game before, you're cognizant of it going in to that next week. It's not like you got to practice a lot, right? Like you don't have to go out and spend an extra day practicing. You do have to really shore up the mental side of the football game and make sure that your body's in shape, right? I mean, this is a game where it was pretty physical last game. You got to treat your body right, get your fluids in. It's going to be hot in Edmonton. Hopefully lots of people there and just roll again. But schematically, there might be a few adjustments, Barney, but again, it's more about just taking care of the mental side of the game and addressing where you came up short on film from the first one.
If you're game planning, if you're sitting in the coach's room, along with miscommunication and just making sure everyone's on the same page, but maybe schematically, like you said, what would you like to see more of come Saturday?
Well, it's a good question. Offensively, I think that you're going to see something different just because Quali Conley or Thomas Bertrand are going to get the start, right? I think they're a different team in terms of just not a completely different team offensively, but they are different when A.J. Ouellette's not there. So I think that you try to get the ball out of Trevor's hands continually, still quick, but maybe utilize the screen game a little bit more. I felt like they did a great job. I mean, here's the other thing too, right, Barney? Offensively, you can't shake a stick at putting up 34 points, right? So defensively, though, I think obviously you got to get on the same page in the secondary. I'd love to see a little bit more pressure manufactured at Cody Fajardo, but here's the problem. The problem is that if he's able to get to his check down routes versus pressure, then you're kind of in those one-on-one situations or you got to make a tackle. And early on last game against the Elks, we missed a couple sort of check down tackles on the running backs, and it hurt us, right? So I think defensively, you got to find a way, whether it's just with the defensive line, maybe 5, maybe stunting a lot more, but you got to find a way to get to Cody Fajardo. Historically, he's always been a quarterback that if you find a way to get pressure on him, if you find a way to start getting him hit, he is going to make a mistake. And really, in a game that's back and forth, one mistake from the quarterback might be the difference between the win and the loss, right?
Yeah. See, I'm thinking, and I'm with you, but then we do such a good job against Rankin last week, and we still got to worry about that. So do we have to be cautious, or do they have to be cautious, Luke, though, when they're going to maybe pin their ears back and they're going to try and get after it, to be cautious of the draw play, maybe some screens?
Well, I think that what you got to understand is that to do any of that, you got to win first down, and that's why teams BC did it too, right? It wasn't just Saskatchewan, but BC prior to that, them coming here and beating us in Saskatchewan, BC did a great job on Rankin stopping the run, right? So you just got to get them in a 2nd and 10 situation so you can actually pin your ears back and pass rush. If they want to run like a screen or a draw, you're going to be able to recognize that. Now you can get guys back running downhill and linebackers identifying. The good thing about it is normally in a screen play or even a draw play, I mean, you've got linebackers like Josh Woods and Jameer Thurman. They're going to recognize those right away, and your defensive line are going to be able to plant and go back, right? So the screens and draws don't worry me as much as blitz pressure going to the check down route and putting our DBs or a linebacker in a one-on-one situation with Rankin. I'd rather have him having to make his way through traffic, figure out and let blocks happen in front of him before he gets going. If you just let him flare out, you're blitzing and, Cody gets it to him in open space, it's one-on-one where if a missed tackle happens, he's got a lot of room to run. It's going to be way more than a first down. So I think that's what you got to be cognizant of, and that's why, again, you got to win first down. You got to take Rankin's ability and put them in a 2nd and 7+ situation.
Where does Ryder Varga help the Riders being inserted?
Special teams. Right? Ryder Varga is going to help on special teams. Solid guy. I mean, there's not really a spot in that linebacking core where you would put Ryder Varga in unless someone was injured, and probably it would be Jameer. But, I mean, first of all, we don't want Jameer going down. Second of all, you've got Aubrey Miller Jr., right? So I think Ryder Varga right now, his role is a special teams role, and he's a terrific special teams player. It's one that we can embrace. And by the way, if he is in there, right, we need a replacement for a guy like Nick Weeb anyways.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned it at the beginning. You have Quali Conley and AJ's going to be week to week. Thomas Bertrand, Hudon. Do you maybe, where does the offense take on a different look with those two guys, or does it not take on a different look? Is that the beauty of it?
I don't think. Listen, this team is 4-2, right, Barney? Right, it's not. You don't panic and change around your entire offensive scheme, right? Because you lost to the best team in the league, right? Like, there's literally 3 good teams in this league right now. It's Montreal, Edmonton, and Saskatchewan. So losing by 2 points to Edmonton shouldn't make you be like, guys, we've got to do a clean just change up of the offense. We've got to shred whatever we did from this point on. No, you just got to do things better. You got to execute better. You've got to tackle better, and you've got to make sure that you're communicating. It's not one of those, listen, I get it. If we lost to Ottawa, right, 28-3, maybe you'd want to consider changing your offense. We didn't lose to Ottawa 28-3. We lost to Edmonton by 2 points in one of the best games in the league right now. You just got to shore up the details. That's all.
How much pressure is on Alex Hale, that first kick, whatever it is, on Saturday?
Well, listen, I've always said, I said after the game, I've said it even when Brett Lawler was going through a little bit of hints of inconsistencies. You got to get competition in for kickers. You have to. There has to be someone sitting in that locker across from them that they can look at and they can see every day to make sure they're focused every single day because you don't want to lose your job, right? So the pressure is mounting, right? But again, Hill, he's a young kid. He's just got to find his groove. But this is a business, and I would love to see some competition brought in for him. And who knows? First of all, I'm not the general manager, and I'm never going to question the general manager that just won a Grey Cup either, right? So, but having said that, tons of pressure, especially in a 2-point game. Right, Barney? Mm-hmm. Like, it is what it is. You can't miss points. And it's funny you said that, too, because one of the comments that I made, I think it was on the pregame show before the game started last week, was we're going to need every single point we can get today, right? And so, tomorrow's no different.
I hear you, man. How, just as a supporter of the league, though, let's go back to what you talked about, because it sounds like ticket sales have been brisk. They got a $20 ticket there as well. There's going to be a lot of Rider fans for sure. Just for the league, how great is it to get the Elks back to be, a team to watch, but now we got Saskatchewan coming in, which could be one of the best rivalries, maybe besides Calgary, and have that stadium somewhat full for this one on Saturday.
Oh, it couldn't be better for the league if Edmonton starts packing that building again. I really feel, Barney, that I got to play in the Canadian Football League in the best era possible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the game was developing, trends were changing, social media was just coming out. Like, man, and when I was playing in the Canadian Football League, BC, their stadium was always full, right? Edmonton, their stadium was always full. And it was such a privilege to play in front of such passionate fan bases. And I'm glad that they're winning, right? And I'm glad that, this is going to be a big game. It's going to be on Saturday night, right? It's going to be a beautiful day. And I hear there's lots of people. I just hope it continues because there's nothing like getting out and seeing a CFL football game live. But I will say this, Barney. All of the changes that this league is making, right? They're making for TV and for streaming, right? Because that is unfortunately the wave of the future. The challenge is you still should be hitting a minimum fan base of support physically in the stadiums, right? Like that's still, like, we're not saying that everything should go to streaming. We're still saying that we need people out to the game. But it's just accepting the fact that more people, especially the generation we want involved in the game, are streaming the CFL, streaming the World Cup, streaming the NBA, streaming the NFL, right? Like, it's just where we are. It doesn't take away from the fact, though, that we still need folks to fill the stadiums at a minimal capacity. And what we've seen at Edmonton, that's far below minimal capacity, right? So the more fans that show up in Edmonton, the better. And I think that, again, we got to remember it's a 9-team league, and there's 3 teams that are head and shoulders above the rest right now, in Saskatchewan, Montreal, and Edmonton. And if you've got a chance to watch 2 of those 3 teams in the same game, get to the stadium.
That's right. Well, yeah, and the streaming. You think 10 years down the road, when Luther's 10 years older, my kids are 10 years older, right? We're streaming. There could be things coming up that we don't even know about that the league.
Dude, listen, man. In 10 years from now, a fan is going to, like, literally be able to just, like, see the whole game from the eyes of the quarterback, or, you know what I mean? Like, they'll have a front row seat, watch the game from the perspective of anybody on the field, right? Like, in 10 years, the game is going to be extremely morphed, and I think then it'll still be for the better, because again, you have to change with the times. The leagues that don't want to change, again, it's one of those deals. If you're not on the boat, hope you can float.
Okay, let's get down to dollars and cents here. We were both wrong last week we took the under. I got it right now sitting at 60. What are you feeling?
Oh, man. You know what? I came in thinking that like 60 was just an astronomical, and then we had a 36-40-34 game, right? But that wasn't really where we also had a 52-30 game. We had a 31-18 game. I would be shocked if you saw 36-34 again. I'm going under. I think that defenses have pride. I remember, if anybody listened to our broadcast after the game, I said that game reminded me of our 2010 season opener with Montreal, where even I was a member of the defense, and it went to double overtime, and just both offenses just couldn't miss. You don't tend to hit on those games twice in a row, right? So I'd be shocked. So I'm going to go under.
Okay, I don't know. You're making it back Sunday. I don't know if you've gone or if you're gonna go. Give the people a taste. What is Luc Mullinder's must go to when he goes to the X? What's your food? What do you got to eat when you go to the X, Luc?
Turkey leg, hands down. Turkey leg.
Really? That's what my wife wanted last night.
What'd you say?
My wife wanted one of those last night, and I was like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's because she's got common sense, Barney. Like, there's nothing better than smoked turkey legs. You got to go and get one of those. The downside is they're going to charge you like $900 for it, right? But, I mean, there's nothing better. All of the other stuff is fried food. I really like fried food, Barney, right? But, man, I can't get over. I mean, you give me a good turkey leg, man. I'm munching on that thing for hours, right? It's like a good cigar. Cigar, turkey leg, scotch. That would be my ideal sort of fair experience.
What about for the sweet tooth though? What do you go? Elephant ear, maybe a beaver tail, mini donuts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can't really screw up an elephant ear, right? Like that's a staple. That's taking me back to childhood in Canada's Wonderland. So yeah, anytime you can duplicate that feeling, I would say you chase that down for sure.
Oh, now I'm craving one right now.
Yeah, man, dude, I want a turkey leg now. Like, I can't wait.
Okay, hit them straight today. Have fun golfing. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. And as always, we'll catch up next week, buddy.
Definitely, man. See you later.
Riders and Elks, the return match at Commonwealth. Who's all going? 936-6262. I know a number of you texted in earlier. Shelley and Ray, they're going together from North Battleford. They got their tickets. Good on you. Mark from Saskatoon says he's making the trek into Edmonton. He's got a friend that got him the $20 tickets. That's right. Save a little cash. Have a few pints there, Mark. I think it's going to be great. If I was in the area, I'd be going. I wish I was going golfing with Luc this afternoon and then go take in that game tomorrow. Maybe go to the mall tomorrow. Hey, little drop of doom. And then go watch the Riders and Elks. If you are not going, listen to the game right here with the best play-by-play team in the CFL. Luc Mullinder, Dave Thomas, Tegan Whitco, Wes Case, Justin Dunk. Everything starts on 620 CKRM tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'm going to be in there with Behind the Face Mask. We got the teases going with Jackson Ford. Really fun interview. And then I'll have All Bets Are Off. So, Luc, I don't know. I don't know where I land on the over-under. I don't know where I land on the spreads. That's for tomorrow morning. To me, to compile anytime touchdowns, running backs. What are we gonna do with them? Passing yards. I don't know. What are you thinking? 936-6262 on the sprinkle side of things tomorrow. It's going to be a great one. It is the Sports Cage. We are on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM. Also streaming, of course, through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. We'll be right back.
Have you looked at the outside of your home lately? Whether it's the deck, garage, siding, stone, or shingles, Freeze Tallman has the products to help bring your next project to life. From composite and pressure-treated decking to railing and exterior finishes, they've got everything you need to refresh your home and backyard. Start planning today at freezetallman.com. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
Out here in southern Saskatchewan, the sun shows up for work every day. Might as well make it earn its keep. That's where Keln Solar comes in. These folks travel all over the province helping people put solar on their homes, farms, and cabins. They're local guys, Sask-born, Sask-raised, and not going anywhere. Except, to your place. Now's the time to start planning for spring and summer 2026 bookings. Give Keln Solar a call and they'll come show you your best options. Keln Solar. They move the power so you don't have to. KelnSolar.com.
The
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Missed any part of the show? Check out the podcast powered by Freeze Tolman at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
Welcome back to Sportscage for sasktoday.ca. Colson is with me. We're going to get some hockey talk here in a bit. And a lot of people texting in yesterday. We're going to get into junior hockey, but I want to get to the some of the TacoTime hot takes that are coming in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Now, I'm not going to criticize, but some aren't so hot, and some are. So Pat says he's old, so he says Riders win, not a close game. So he's picking a blowout. Okay, so get where we're going. Coulson, I don't know if you see any. My hot take tomorrow from Dean in Regina: Riders get a special team touchdown. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Bradley up in Saskatoon. Hot take: Rider running back Conley will have a big game running the ball, plus more big plays from screen passes out of the backfield. So, Brad, you're on the right line. But if you said Conley over 150 yards rushing, that's going to get you points with Coulson to pick the hot take of the week. Who had this? Merv in Moose Jaw. Johnny Johnson, 2 touchdowns. That's a good one right there. That's a hot take. Nigel in Regina. Jackson Ford, another third and short stop. There we go. Okay. So you get it? We want some hot takes. We're playing for $50 to TacoTime across Saskatchewan. Any of the TacoTimes. How hungry are you now? Are you like me? Keep them coming. 936-6262. Lots to come on the Riders. Caleb Saunders interview in about 15 minutes time. But yesterday, the Regina Pats ownership group, the Brent Sports and Entertainment, came out with their new structure for tickets. And we have to applaud, although some of you are season ticket holders and you were still like, this does nothing for me. The food and beverage credit you get, it's something. They're trying. We're getting there because they're taking over the building now, right? So I thought, well, I'm up in Saskatoon. Let's get former owner of the Regina Pats, Brent Parker, on with us. So Brent's joining us today in studio. I'm sure you saw it. Brent, you kind of went through it. We got family zone seats, $12.50 a ticket. Just your initial thoughts on what they came out with yesterday.
Well, I mean, junior hockey's always been about family, right? I mean, I think back to years ago going to the old Calgary Corral and in Calgary watching the Centennials, and it was family. It was family outing, and I think that was an error in judgment on their part going back when they took away the kids' tickets. You know, hey, we all make mistakes, right? We think we're doing things for the right reasons, and you know, it's an expensive business to run, and so I'm sure their plan and their thought process and having the silver and gold, but you can't take away kids' tickets. That's a nightmare in my opinion, because you're losing that generation of fans. So I think they've obviously recognized it. I think what they've done certainly is putting some things in place to make it more affordable for families to go to the games. And certainly, yeah, you have to applaud them for that.
You owned it for years. You had to deal with not owning a facility. And when we were trying to go off camera, like Edmonton, Calgary, we're trying to figure the teams, 936-6262, if you know of any, that where the franchise owns the arena. That changes the whole ball game. Obviously, you don't even have to be a business major or go to the Hill Business School to figure out that now you've got the concessions, the beer sales as well. Just the challenges of not having that. What was that like as an owner?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. And I think there's some teams that have management contracts in their buildings. I think that's what they have here in Saskatoon. I think Calgary, Edmonton, and Regina now are the three that own their building, and it just frees you up to do so many different things because you now have other revenue streams. I don't know what Sean's lease was after we left. I know what we had when we first took over. There was no concession revenue at all. So that's a real detriment to a franchise. We eventually got a little bit. The $5 voucher that they've included for season ticket holders, really smart play. Obviously, the season ticket holders are going to get something. Everyone always wants more, but it's something. But from the team standpoint, now people are taking that $5 voucher, and we all know you can't buy a whole lot of the concession for $5, but it still gives you a bit of a discount. But they should increase their per cap on their concessions, so it allows you to do some of those things. It allows you to have some some different meal options. You put some packages together, where you can have a hot dog, a chips, and a Coke for a certain price. So it frees you up to do a lot of different things.
You work closely here with the group that owns the Blades and the Rush, and like you said, they got a management contract here. I feel, and I'm not taking anything away because Swift does it well, Moose Jaw, Prince Albert. Saskatoon has got that family. I think it's like $99. You take the family, you get something in your belly as well, and you're under 100.
Yeah, I know you see a lot of teams now are starting to do some of that stuff. The Blades have done a really good job with all of their franchises that way. I guess not the Blades, but the Saskatoon Sports and Entertainment Group. And, the Berries up here, they've got a nice facility, and they've done a lot of really good stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, it has to be affordable. We all know, we all know, go to the grocery store and see what, the prices are there, and gas prices continue to rise. But so people's disposable income isn't what it used to be. So you have to make it affordable so that those people that maybe would come to 1 or 2 games before, maybe now they come to 3 or 4 games. Now they're buying food in the concessions, and you get that spin-off. And not to mention just the atmosphere in the building that generates future sales. You want people walking out of there, honestly, not caring if the team won or lost. They just had a good time, because there's the hardcore fans, but then there's the group that you just want them as a night out and be able to afford the night out and have enough fun that you want to come back.
And I played some junior hockey. I know guys that play, and you can play senior hockey, whatever. The better atmosphere is better for the player as well. Like the players want to come out to 5,000, 6,000 people as well. Even if it's maybe a game that their backs up against the wall, they're playing a team that's a little more superior. Now you got the crowd with you.
Yeah. there's nothing worse than a Tuesday night when it's friends and family in the crowd, and it's dressed like a seat night, and you can hear every puck bouncing off, every F-bomb that's yelled. And it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the organization. The kids, that's not great for them. From a recruiting standpoint, it's not great. So it plays into every aspect.
Their season tickets now, I think they do fairly well on the season tickets. When you guys took over in 1995, did you have a strong season ticket base? Did you have to build that? I know you, and I know the years that working with you and Cliff Mapes, how hard you guys worked. But when you took it over, where was the season ticket base at?
Still remember we had a lady by the name of Olga who was running our front counter for us and reception desk, and we had our season tickets were in a little Rolodex, and there was 472 total season tickets. And you're right, guys like Cliff Mapes and Nathan Morrison and Mike Jenkins, who's up here now at the U of S, those kids, and they were all kids then, they're not anymore, but they worked their tails off. Scotty Clark, another one, that they really worked hard. And I think the year we hosted the Memorial Cup in 2001, we capped our season tickets. I think it was at like 3,500, because we had to hold tickets for sponsors and the other teams and everything at Memorial Cup. We probably could have sold over 4,500, but they worked hard, and we grew the fan base. And honestly, it was nothing against the Hickeys and Knights that were there before. Like, everybody worked hard. Sometimes it just a change of scenery, change of pace, different ideas, some different thoughts. And we had some marketing and background from our baseball team. And so, yeah, those guys worked hard to grow it, because it's tough. It's a tough business.
That's what people, and we had a couple text messages yesterday where they haven't made money. I think the Memorial Cup year, there might have been a little bit of a profit there. Now, I say as well, though, okay, maybe you're not making money. Obviously, it's a nice little tax write-off at times. There's different things you can do owning a hockey team and all that. But the franchises seem to keep climbing. I think, and I don't know if we want to get into this. I want to say you guys sold it. You took a little bit of a haircut from what I remember. You guys sold it for around 6.8-ish.
Yeah, it was a little more than that, but it was certainly valued at more than that. I know when Russ sold it, he really wanted to make sure it went into local hands. The group that bought it, and obviously we're all local guys, local businessmen, and he's a Saskatchewan guy from Mooseman and grew up listening to the Pats, and he really wanted to make sure it was going into good hands in Regina.
What would you think the Regina Pats are worth 2026, 2027? I guess, let's say pre-owning running the stadium.
Yeah, I think if you're just, that brings a different element into it altogether, because I don't know if they were to sell it, if that would include the arena. Probably not. I'm thinking that they would hang on to it, and I don't think it is for sale either. But I think teams right now, the sort of the top franchises in the Western League, you're probably looking in that 12 million, 12 to 15 million range, depending on place like Kelowna versus someplace, a Brandon or Red Deer on the prairies that are good franchises too in their own right. But yeah, you're probably in that range. It's really interesting because it's a different type of owner now. You're seeing a lot of guys that are getting involved that are playing with bigger money, it's almost a hobby in some cases, and it's not. I mean, these guys didn't make their money by being stupid.
Yeah.
So, but they when we got in, it was the Chenoweth family, it was the Sutter family, it was the McCrimmons, the Brodsky's in PGN Saskatoon, and the Hamiltons.
Yeah.
So you had and then the community franchises. So you had a lot of family-owned teams, the Bretts in Spokane, and so it was different. Then you seen more, still families, but more of businesses that are taking over. I mean, Brent is a perfect example of that. So it's different. It's a different ownership group, I know I've talked to guys that, say at the board table now in the GM meetings and such, it's a different feel than what it used to be. I mean, we'd sit in those meetings and MF each other, yelling back and forth, fighting for our, rights, what was good for our teams. And then we'd all 15 of us would end up at Caesars in Calgary having a steak and drinking some beer and having some laughs. And so I don't think it's quite the same as it used to be.
Brent Parker is joining me. Family used to own the Regina Pats. We're talking some junior hockey here with the news coming yesterday. The Regina Pats and their new ticket structure, making things more affordable. If there's the casual fan, the listener out there listening right now, give us, besides, obviously expense of a facility, give us an example of how many expenses there are that the average person doesn't know about to run a major junior hockey team.
Well, I mean, even just something as simple as, especially in a place like Regina where you're a hub city, like there was times we'd have 4 teams staying in the Brant Center, and you're doing all their laundry, you're supplying all the tape, you're supplying all of that stuff. You supply for the teams that are there, then you get it when you go on the road, so the trainers aren't having to haul everything. And so just something like that, when you're hub city, the amount of laundry detergent that they would go through. But we all these kids can eat like horses, so you go on the road and you're putting out a buffet at 2:00 for a pregame meal that'll be pork chops and steaks and 3 different types of pasta and a couple different salads. And I mean,
the days of just a bunch of pizzas are gone.
No, and I mean, hotel rooms and gas costs with buses, like we see, we'll all fill our tanks and know what that costs nowadays. So, if we're in a place that has to travel a lot, like a Prince George or a Brandon, those are added costs. And you can't get a hotel room now for under $125 a night. And, you're 2 to a room, you're 18 rooms when you're on the road. And so it's all of those things, they add up. And,
sticks, equipment.
Sticks. I mean, we were using the old Coho wood sticks when we started. I mean, we were paying $125 a dozen. for them at the time.
The old revolutions.
Yeah, and Brad Stewart was by far the worst. I swear he would go through 2 or 3 sticks a night, two on guys' backs, and then 2 with So all of those things, just the workout gear and the nutrition, having food and having you've got bagels and you've got power bars or I've got to plug my son sweet nutrition bars around the dressing room and all of those things that are all go into it. So it's just gotten more and more and more expensive. And arena leases, you're paying more. It's costing more to operate the buildings. So that gets passed down the line.
It's unreal. We got about a minute left. We talk about Major Junior and the Pats. You must really feel as well for those SJHL and those Junior A teams that are trying to make it, which is just it's so cool to see the community back some of these teams.
And that's how it has to be done, right? You have to have, and actually I'm meeting with the guys with the Warman Wolverines next week to talk about some things and you do hand it to those communities because they have to really dig in and find every possible avenue to generate revenue because their costs are going up too. Just basic costs like we talked about, your bus costs and hotels and meals and it's a tough grind for those
billeting.
Teams. So billeting, I mean and the billets. I mean, kudos to them for taking these kids in because the amount these kids eat and what it changes in your life, and it's very gratifying for those families, but it's a lot.
One of my favorite billets, it was grilled cheese and tomato soup almost every day at lunch. It wasn't really the nutrition thing. Brent, thank you so much for coming in and doing this and having a chat. It's a Sports Cage. We're going to break here. We're going to come back, ticker, possibly some rider chat. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
The Roughriders season is here and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
Hello?
Wanna play a game?
Not really. I'm trying to get...
What goes up, but not down?
My garage door. I'm late for work and waiting for the repair guy.
You can manually open it if you pull the...
Yeah, I know, but I need it fixed, and I'm not gonna get out of my car and pull the rope 8 times a day.
Call Busy Bee Doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
I was just excited I found someone who still has a landline.
Oh my God.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
They could have just called it a flooring store.
Yeah, but that doesn't really cover it.
Carpet, hardwood, laminate.
Outdoor flooring, artificial turf, rubber athletic flooring.
Hey, that's more than a store.
Exactly. That's a superstore.
So whether it's your living room, your garage, your gym, or your backyard,
think bigger, think super. I think you've got it now.
Flooring Superstore. Quality floor. Over 20 years serving Regina and area. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. It's time for the Sports Ticker. Brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Rent a water heater and water softener starting at about $1.20 a day and get $400 when you switch to Reliance Heath.
Week 9 continues. CFL tonight. Do we see an upset? Ottawa home to Montreal. Game starts at 5:30. We're talking sprinkles in hour 2 with Lotto Lawrence. Riders Elks tomorrow, obviously, starting 2 p.m. here in the Roughrider Broadcast Network. Some of the guests, Tom Sargent, Saskatchewan Hilltops head coach, Regina native Ryder Varga. We're going to go behind the face mask with Jackson Ford, Dave, Luke, Teagan, Justin, West. They're all here starting at 2 o'clock. Western Canadian Baseball tonight. Moose Jaw hosting Medicine Hat, another big one, the 2 leagues best. Weyburn is at Regina. Doubleheader starting at 6:05. Go to the park for a double dip tonight. Berries are in Swift Current. Major League Baseball. Blue Jays start a series with St. Louis. Sportscage.com poll. Should Toronto be buyers or sellers at the Major League Baseball trade deadline vote? at sportscage.com. Colson, I don't know if you've seen that the text line for the TacoTime hot takes is taken off. We're getting some people. No, now that I mentioned it, so you have to. It's kind of important you leave your name and probably your number if you want to win the prize. Some of you have just wrote Roberson gets 2 sacks if he gets into the game. That's a good one. We have no idea who you are. You got to let us know. Dane from Swift Current. Hot take. Trevor Harris rushing touchdown. There you go, Dane. I love the, is the TacoTime still operational in Swift Current? Used to eat there a lot when I lived there. Hot take. Saskatchewan doesn't just bounce back. They make a statement. The Roughriders force 3 Edmonton turnovers, win by 10+ points, and everyone forgets last week's heartbreak finish. We need your name, though, on that. I think it's Shane. Shane, yeah. So name and number, ladies and gentlemen. Cole in North Dakota. First off, he wants to know if he can use it down south. I don't think so, but you're coming up for a game, Cole. Heck, I'll take you to TacoTime. Alex Hale goes 4 for 4, nails a game winner for the Riders. Cole from North Dakota. That's a good one. Keep them coming. 936-6262. It's the TacoTime hot take. We're doing it all season long now. All right, let's get into, I said, Caleb Saunders' interview. Dave Thomas, a one-on-one with Mr. Saunders.
Caleb Saunders getting set for the Edmonton Elks back-to-back weeks. Is it easier, harder, different preparation?
I mean, I feel like a lot of it's, we don't install a whole lot of new things. Obviously, every week there's tweaks and changes we want to make from the week before when we're playing the same opponent. But, you know, for the most part, it's a lot of technique stuff, a lot of just getting out on the field and just being able to fill out the plays that we're going to see.
Can you tell me what you saw in film then last week?
Obviously, a lot of pass, a lot of PAP, a lot of Sally game. So just being able to stop all that stuff, because I thought we did a good job on the run, obviously. So just being able to stop their offense once they can't run the ball.
You've talked to me about trusting your eyes, and we media people hyped up the fact that you had to stop the run last week. You mentioned that you stopped it. Did you ever over-focus on the run, which allowed some of that play-action stuff to happen?
For sure. When you got an elite back like that, I mean, he can make even if he's not making plays the entire game, he can pop one loose at any given moment. So I feel like for sure we overplayed the run, which led to us them just being able to pass for a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we were expecting. So as long as we fix it this week, that's all that matters.
As a defensive lineman, a quarterback that's allowed or can change his launch point as often and frequently as Cody Fajardo seems to be able to do, what added component does that or challenge does that make for you?
Yeah, we just got to keep him in the pocket. He does a good job of scrambling to throw. I think that's probably his best attribute. So just keep him in the pocket and just be able to hit him early and often, throw him off his game, and that's the best that we can do.
Luc Mullinder consistently talked about gap awareness and being assignment sound. Can you explain what that means?
As everyone's got their own job, just be able to do your job on every given play and not trying to do anything extra, and the defense is going to work out.
I can give you the reasons why this game may have added importance: the season series, the West Division opponent, the standings. I can keep going. Does any of that factor into your preparation for this game?
No, I don't think so. I mean, every week we want to beat every opponent, regardless of who we're playing. It could be the best team in the league, it could be the worst league in the team, or least worst team in the league. At the end of the day, we got to prepare the same and play our best football.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at worksafesask.ca.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
House, cabin, office, home gym. If it has a floor, Flooring Superstore probably has something for it. Need carpet, laminate, hardwood, outdoor synthetic grass, rubber flooring for your gym? Yeah, they pretty much have it all. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer working on a small project, check out their cash and carry department for deeply discounted prices. So whether you're renovating a boardroom or covering that mystery floor in the basement, think Super. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor. Over 20 years serving Regina and area. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
News is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. Call 781-2090.
It's 4 p.m. Good afternoon. Partly cloudy and 27 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the SAS Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. Ahead of the long weekend, RCMP are reminding people that boats are not exempt to liquor laws. Last weekend, in a 6-hour time span, on the last mountain lake, RCMP dumped over 100 containers of alcohol, issued 4 tickets for open alcohol on a boat, 1 ticket for operating a boat without a license, and 2 tickets for open alcohol on shore. They also issued several warnings for lack of life jacket use. In addition, Mounties conducted 20 mandatory alcohol screenings, with multiple boaters coming close to the provincial suspension list. Saskatchewan highways have seen a deadly summer, with fatalities skyrocketing since June. Superintendent Grant St. Germain says the province has recorded 51 fatal collisions and 62 deaths this year. He says the numbers are up 178% compared to last summer.
Probably the most frustrating thing from a police perspective is that in all of these incidents, they're preventable. So I'm not saying that the innocent person driving down the road is causing an accident, but if that person gets run into by an impaired driver, that person made the choice to get on the road.
St. Germain is hoping everyone makes it home safe this coming long weekend. Prince Albert RCMP are investigating a fatal pedestrian vehicle collision near McDowell that left a 34-year-old man dead. Police received a report of an injured man on Highway 11 early Thursday morning. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say the vehicle involved did not remain there. RCMP continue to investigate with help from a collision reconstructionist and are asking anyone with information to come forward. Regina Pats fans are overjoyed after the team announced lower ticket prices for the upcoming WHL season. Fans across the city agree that it's a great thing.
The fact that they're lowering prices for the Pats for everybody and families to be able to go out and enjoy, I think that's awesome.
I think it's fantastic. More people go to the game. I think it's awesome.
Lightning Lemonade supports Pats lowering ticket prices.
The Pats now offer one of the cheapest ticket prices in the league, with some tickets starting as low as $12.25. Queen City X organizers are reminding visitors to stay cool and hydrated as hot weather continues during the 5-day fair at Regina's Real District. Temperatures are expected to reach the low 30s. Organizers say guests can use shade tents, water refill stations, and air-conditioned buildings to stay comfortable. The fair runs through Sunday with rides, concerts, food, and family attractions. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620CKRM.com.
Looking for a new career with a growing local company? Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Emerald Park are now hiring. They're currently in need of plumbers and sheet metal workers, from apprentices to journeymen. Competitive wages, plenty of work, family-style work environment. If you're ready for a new challenge, bring your resume to 2 Percival Drive in Emerald Park or call 781-2090. That's 781-2090.
Weather for Next Gen Coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina.
Weather tonight, we got a clear sky, maybe an isolated shower later, a low down to 15 tomorrow. Sunshine and hot, 33 degrees tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. We're going to have isolated showers in the area, low down to 20. Sunday, mostly sunny but breezy, high of 30. It's coming out of the southwest, 20-35, gusts up to 45. Monday, partly sunny, isolated showers in the area, again, high of 21. Tuesday, mostly sunny, some isolated showers by the evening. and a high of 24. Right now, corner of 12th and Rose, it is 27 degrees under a clear sky. It feels like 31.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, Sports Cage, on this Friday for sastoday.ca. Great first hour. Good job, everybody. Give yourself a pat on the back, Barry Horowitz style, as the TacoTime hot take on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Okay, first off, I got to say, joining me for the next hour here, you've heard him call in. You've heard him on the show before. Lotto Lawrence is live in studio with me. Do you have a hot take for tomorrow in Edmonton, Lawrence?
I like Derek Roberson. I think he's going to get maybe a strip sack fumble and create. I also believe that they'll hold Fajardo and the Eskimos to under 20 points tomorrow.
All right, but okay, we got to get to that in a bit. I got some of these to get through. Pat started us off today. Andrew's just saying we got fantastic seats. Visitor side, 9 rows up, section S, about 40-yard line. I'm pumped. What'd you pay for those, Andrew? Do you get those like last minute here? Shaner saying, yeah, he's the one that had the one they're going to win by plus 10 points. The Riders. Here's one. Colin says Fajardo over 400 yards passing. Is that a hot take?
He just had 500.
He just had 500. Here's a good hot take. No one said this. I'm throwing this out. Tom Valesi shows up on the Edmonton sideline. How about that? Roberson gets 2 sacks if he's into the game. Terry from Hudson Bay. Love Hudson Bay. Great country up there. Is Roberson in? Oh, yeah. So if he gets in, right? Like, see if he plays. Steve from Regina does it well. Leaves his number as well. My hot take is a brief thunderstorm event will delay the game in the fourth quarter for just over an hour, allowing Saskatchewan to win the game. They will lead by 9 points at the time. So let us know what you're thinking. 936-6262. It's for a $50 TacoTime gift card used anywhere in Saskatchewan. Cole down in the United States. Sorry, that won't work for you, my friend. Okay, Lawrence, you're here. What did you think of the game last night? I took BC minus 8 points. Kind of wishing now I would have hammered even the money line.
Well, who would have thought BC 25 points in the fourth quarter? That was pretty crazy. But early in the game, the settling for field goals for Winnipeg was definitely the key. 16, 12, and 32-yard field goals. Galgos Paisano kicking them through. I mean, they should have converted those to touchdowns, and then it wouldn't. I don't think it would have been. They would have put BC away early.
I kind of feel, and I was on Edmonton Sports Talk today, and I said, I think Winnipeg's a Fugazi, or maybe not. I don't know what to think of Winnipeg. And even if Collaros comes back, I don't know about Winnipeg. You?
Have you seen their defense play like this before? Like they're usually defense in Winnipeg is sort of like a staple there. And I don't know the last couple 52 points Calgary put on them, 35 against a third string quarterback. I mean it was their read option. I mean I don't know if it was number 39. I think maybe Smith. He bid on a couple times and that's where he got the big runs. But is that Horvat? Horvat looked pretty faster than I think that Winnipeg thought.
Well, that's the thing. Horvath was he had his REO Speedwagon going 191 yards there. Caden Salter is he maybe here's a hot take. Is he maybe the next one that we got eyeballs on in the CFL? Yeah, no, it's just a one game. It's a small sample and it's against Winnipeg.
I love the big field when you got a scrambling quarterback like that. It's put so much pressure on the defense. So, and he did. I mean, what did he get? 98 yards passing and 177 yards rushing, I believe. Like tremendous performance by a rookie. But they kept him in early. BC kept them in early with their defense, and then BC took over in the fourth quarter. So.
I took him anytime touchdown, and then they called him down. We were just leaving the city, so I was kind of watching on my phone, corner of my eye, and I was like, "Oh, I think I hit the anytime Salter touchdown." And then I'm like, "No, they got to rule him down there because he definitely was." Hard to believe, though, right? That BC almost needed that game last night.
I mean, they couldn't go to 1-6. So, I mean, if they go into 2-5, they're still alive, right? And I think it was, I mean, I believe that BC, even if it's a crossover, because of the power, in the West between Winnipeg or between Edmonton and Saskatchewan and Calgary, I think BC will cross over. It might be an easier route for them.
Yeah, well, I said this yesterday, and then on Edmonton Sports Talk today, I said Davis Alexander's hamstring. So much of this league, especially for Montreal, relies on that muscle in that guy's leg because and I'm not wishing this on him, if that thing isn't 100%, which it doesn't look like it is so far this year, something happens where late in the season it gets colder, and then he's on the shelf. Lawrence, you could sandbag your way possibly to the Grey Cup with an easier route going through the East.
You could. I don't think they if you look at since they've had the crossover, especially for the first number of years, the West was better, and the travel or whatever it was, they just didn't get it done. But it's changed the last couple of years, so BC could definitely have that avenue.
Let's do sprinkle of the day right now, Colson. We'll go Sports Select, and then we'll get into some other things. Montreal, Ottawa tonight. Okay, so Sports Select, sportselect.com. You can make your picks online, generate a QR code, and head to your Lotto Spot retailer, or you can go and fill it out like I like to do over a coffee at the Sherwood Co-op. Montreal's 147. The tie is 415. That's a 3-point game at Sports Select under Pro Line. Ottawa's 390. The tie is a lot more inviting there. The point spread is where I'm going to go, Lawrence, I think, because right now they have it Montreal -7. I think I might lean to Ottawa taking the points there. Am I crazy?
A little bit, maybe. I don't know. Ottawa, they haven't showed me enough. They had a pretty good game against Winnipeg. Even they played the Riders pretty well at home. And Winnipeg went to the overtime and the 2-point conversion, and it looked like they had scrambled eggs play. I don't know what some of the plays were that they were calling in that overtime, but I just do believe that Montreal is, with Alexander, just the quarterback play is much better than you're going to see from Meyer.
61.5 is the over-under. Does that tickle a fancy at all?
I go under there, I believe.
Really? Why?
I just don't see Ottawa putting up a ton of points.
You don't believe in
this? Is going to be like a 30 to 13 game for Montreal.
Okay, well, so we're disagreeing. We're disagreeing on that. Sportselect.com. You can make your picks online, generate a QR code, and go to your Lotto Spot retailer or go and fill it out. Okay, well, while we have it up, what do you think Calgary Hamilton there tomorrow with Hamilton's 5 points? The pro line tie there's 380. Does Hamilton have a shot at home against Calgary?
I think so. I mean, Ford played pretty well last week, other than the end of the game. So, and I think Hamilton, they can get in the mix there. With Chad Kelly's injury, I think Hamilton could be the second best team in the East potentially if Ford can get going. So I would take the points. You take a tie there too. What, 380 for a tie?
380 for a tie. Over under 60.5.
Yeah, that's I go under again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and while we got Sports Select up here, let's go Riders Elks on Sports Select. We can get deeper into some props later. What are you thinking here?
Well, I mean, last week it was a 2-point game, and I think Edmonton they played like 9.5 out of 10. Like, I don't know if they could have played any better, and I thought the Riders kind of were a 7 out of 10. I believe Riders here 30-20, 50 points scored overall. I just believe the Riders are a better team. I know Edmonton surprised some people, and they have Cody Fajardo won't pass for 500 yards. And I mean, it was great that they held Rankin to 65 total yards, 66 total yards. That was incredible. I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that again, but that doesn't matter. Or the weapons the Riders have on offense, it's just too much for Edmonton.
I don't want this to sound the way it's going to come across. AJ Ouellette's going to the 6th game for us. So we got to live without AJ for a while. I don't know if you were listening earlier this week when I had that conversation with a buddy that I said, okay, well, 8.5, 9 games over under for AJ this year. And he was like, way over. And I said, okay, well, maybe we'll go a pint here. I'll take the under, just the violent and all that. It's not a good sign. It sounds like a knee that he's out. But I like what Connolly showed when he's been in there, and obviously Thomas Bertrand Houdon.
I agree, but they seem like they don't play him enough throughout the year. Ouellette plays a lot, and then the more he plays, the more you have a chance of getting injured. So you like him fresh when it comes to the postseason. I mean, so hopefully he'll be back. But I like Connolly. I like the speed and he catches the ball well in the backfield. So you'll see maybe some screen passes and some things like that.
Yeah. Sportselect.com. There's your sprinkle of the day. Every bet is legal. Money stays in Saskatchewan for sport, culture, and recreation. Ready to play. Play with the original. Must be 18 plus to play. And of course, play responsibly. Okay, so in the pregame show tomorrow, it starts at 2:00 right here on the Rider Broadcast Network. I get to do a little feature called Behind the Face Mask. Actually, this only runs on the CKRM portions and the YouTube. But this week, I went with local boy Jackson Ford. And it's questions beyond football that I like to ask the players. I asked Jackson a couple. The one that Colson and Jason Wood pulled today as a tease for it is me asking Jackson about, which he's been to because he's grown up in Regina, the Queen City exhibition.
Honestly, my go-to, I like the mouse one. The mouse one's fun. The zipper is also fun. Very scary though. And then the Polar Express too. You can't go wrong with that one. Just pulling it off. It's pretty fun.
What would be your food if you're able to go over there right now and grab something? What would you grab?
It's got to be the mini donuts, man. Come on, dude. Come on. They have so many different flavors too. Like, they got like a cookies and cream one this year, I heard too. It's gonna be crazy.
So him talking about his favorite ride and food at the QCX. Again, the whole interview. We got another tease coming up in hour 3. But Lawrence, we're Saskatoon guys. You know, we grew up, and I want to ask you, who was the first, like local that went and played from Saskatoon with the Riders that you remember that we kind of all looked up to and was like, oh wow, like, I remember even CFL, there was the Farthings that came through, the Huskies. Is Dan from here? Is he from Regina though? I don't Dwayne Demetrician, I remember as well. Who comes to mind?
Well, by farthing, I believe, went to Holy Cross. Yeah. So
Okay, so he's from here. Yeah.
and so he was.
Did you play against him?
No. There wasn't a lot of guys at the time we played that went anywhere out of Saskatoon. Demetrician was about, I think, a year or two younger than we were.
Warren Musica?
Musica, there's a guy that was about a year. He's a year older, I believe. But he went to Walter Murray, I believe, right? Yeah.
But it's just, isn't it great to see now where receivers, and you got a guy like Jackson Ford, you got other defensive players around the league, really giving kids that are playing Thunder, Hilltops, CIS, it's like, no, you can get there, you can make it.
With the ratio in the CFL, that helps so much, and I believe, these guys look up and say, yeah, I can do this, right? So why not?
Yeah, it's great. Another guy, not local, but somebody for the TacoTime hot take said they have him. Who was it here? I wrote it down. They have him at 2 touchdowns. Now that is a hot take. Johnny Johnson the third. Here is Dave Thomas with JJ3.
Johnny Johnson III. We're going to start with fashion. How about? Tell me about the neon green cleats that I get so often asked about that you like to wear during game.
So it was just, I didn't even know they were coming out with these, and then Dale walked in with them, I think the week before last week. I saw them. It was the week before bye week. I saw them, ordered them immediately, went home, got them off the bye week, brought them out here. I just thought they looked good, and especially with the green, I feel like you could rock them with any of our unis just because it just pops,
As a broadcaster, we love them because when it's hard to make out the number, you can see it's either going to be you or Dell. So does that mean that it's going to be a game day thing that you wear them all the time on game day? Because I notice in practice, you change to white cleats sometimes.
Yeah, it just depends how I'm feeling. It's just like a spur of the moment thing. I don't like to make superstitions or say I need to wear this or wear that. Just kind of go with the flow, how my heart's feeling.
Okay, so you got to tell me, how does the heart feel before a game then? Is there some superstitions that you do have outside of cleats or any routines that you may have?
No, just make sure I wake up in the morning, pray to God. That's really my only thing that I have on my list. Everything else is kind of with the flow. I mean, I eat food at typically the same times, kind of stretch the same ways, but as far as like superstitions, I don't really got none.
So if I went and looked at your locker right now, how many pair of cleats and or shoes would there be?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Would I be impressed with some of them?
I mean, they'd be these, but just different colorways. So, yeah, I mean, they'd be smooth.
Fair. Well, you've looked very smooth thus far in adapting to the Canadian game. How are you feeling at the third point of the season?
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling real confident now. Got the waggles down. This game's a lot different, especially with the blocking, reading defenses, getting IDs from O-line, all types of stuff. So I feel like I've really adapted. And it's smooth now. It's natural to me now.
Take me inside the receiver room because there's an awful lot of players that are having some really good seasons that you can learn from.
Man, these guys are just hard workers day in and day out. These guys are vets. Some of them year 6, year 4, year 3. It's just they put in the work every day. They, if they have to take vet days, they do. But for the most part, they're putting in work every day. So it's been good to learn from for sure.
The kick return game has been a bit of a rotation, but you were on kickoff return. How many kickoffs have you returned in your career prior to this?
Man, not a lot. I mean, at Oregon, my last year, I probably had a few early in the season. A couple injuries that year at my college, though, so they kind of took me out of that. But I'm feeling it here. I like it. Feels good to touch the ball for sure. So it's just another opportunity to make a play out there.
Can you tell me your reaction to this comment? An observer, one of the scouts actually mentioned to me, the way that you see the field, he thinks can make you an elite returner. What's your reaction to that?
Wait, what was this comment?
That you see the field really well.
Man, it's just vision. Just like not having your head down. It's something I've always done. I mean, I played running back when I was younger, so reading kind of gap to gap is not too hard for me. So it's kind of natural, just football.
How big do your eyes get when that ball's coming down to you and you see that big green field with 12 guys running at you?
I don't even see the guys, right? I'm seeing the ball. It really gets quiet, It feels like it's probably loud. It feels like a big moment, but you take those reps so serious in practice that it just becomes routine. It's another Tuesday.
Lastly, how big is this game Saturday? Is it just another game, or has it got more meaning to it, given the standings, the year-long battle, and of course the head-to-head matchup between the two teams?
There's history. There's obviously, they beat us last game. There's some fire there, but for me, it's just another day. I'm lining up against them the same way I would against our defense every day. So, it can't change for me on game day. That's how you keep it the same.
And not always the same cleats, though.
Not always the same cleats, but we'll get that down.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskatchewan Today on CKRM with your host, Ryan Young, offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists in an industry that moves fast. Stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, crisis and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at SaskagToday.com. Saskag Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture. Sponsored by Affinity Credit Union on 620 CKRM.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Linda had questions, she talked to Brian Golly.
He's always well prepared and has answers for us. We take it as gospel, and he's led us down the right path so far.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions. 306-546-2533.
We would recommend Brian anytime, and we would recommend him to anybody.
SaskToday.ca is your local news source, proudly serving communities all across Saskatchewan. Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground focusing on local topics that matter to you. From agriculture, local community news, sports, and more. Find it all at SaskToday.ca. Sign up for our daily news digest at SaskToday.ca. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
Donations to the War Amps have a lasting impact on amputees. Today, your support gives them the artificial limbs and resources they need for everyday activities and learning to live with amputation. Having access to our essential programs helps amputees prepare for tomorrow on their road to independence. The War Amps is committed to improving the quality of life for Canadian amputees, but this wouldn't be possible without you. To learn how your donation helps, visit waramps.ca.
House, cabin, office, home gym. If it has a floor, Flooring Superstore probably has something for it. Need carpet, laminate, hardwood, outdoor synthetic grass, rubber flooring for your gym? Yeah, they pretty much have it all. And if you're a do-it-yourselfer working on a small project, check out their cash and carry department for deeply discounted prices. So whether you're renovating a boardroom or covering that mystery floor in the basement, think Super. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor. Over 20 years serving Regina and area. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Keln Solar. Thinking about saving money by using solar power? Keln Solar is a local family company that can put solar panels on your home, business, or farm. KelnSolar.com.
Okay, Colson, I don't know what you have, but let me go first. Caden Salter, 10 attempts for 160 yards rushing last night for the BC Lions, and Xander Horvath, 17, 191 yards in total. Team was 377 rushing. BC Lions won me some Hiroshi, and they beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Also, Connie from Carrot River. I woke up this morning and went and checked the text line. Connie from Carrot River sent me in her spud nut recipe. I can't tell you what that means to me, Connie. Thank you very much. My wife said to me, if you can get the recipe, I'm sure I'll be able to make them, and she will. I might have to bring him into the studio and let the fellas try, and also have everybody a show on YouTube. My spud nuts. Okay, and then Carson Nyhouse. He's leading the Canadian Cowboy Association Novice Bareback. He's from Minton, Saskatchewan, 18 years old. Carson Nyhouse. What a stud. Good job, Carson. Those are mine. Colson, do you have one?
Yeah, I'm going to the Commonwealth Games. So Savannah Sutherland from Saskatchewan got bronze in the 400-meter hurdles. And
from Saskatchewan?
Yeah, I don't know where in Saskatchewan, but I've just been following Devin Haru on Twitter. He's got all your Commonwealth coverage there, so Saskatchewan's own Devin Haru. But Damian Warner also, the decathlon athlete that Arash pointed us out on Thursday, he ended up with silver. So he did very good there. And I went to the website and checked, and Canada right now is sitting in third total medals with 53. So doing a good showing. Australia's running away with it. They have over 100 medals, but good showing still at the Commonwealth Games.
The Aussies. All right. Kellen Solar, Lumsden, Saskatchewan. If you are thinking solar, give them a call. Come out. They'll check it out. Can it be done? We're not sure. And then if you got a livestock operation, like I think it was Jeff and Val Marie went and saw the fellas at Kellen Solar. Family-run business in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Andrew's been, I think he might be our texter of the month so far. He said, Colson, she's from Borden. From Borden, Saskatchewan. So just down the road from Saskatoon, from Langham, down the valley, across the bridge, up there, Borden. I scored an unreal overtime goal in Atom hockey in the Borden arena. I remember it to this day. That says a lot about my life. Kevin Portress in Regina. My hot take, this is the week we finally see Tommy Stevens fake a run on third down and one and toss the game-winning touchdown. Barney's boy, Duncan Busby, with the catch. Kevin. Now that's a hot take. We're playing the TacoTime hot take of the day for a $50 TacoTime gift card. Colson's going to pick the winner there. Do you like that one, Lawrence?
For sure.
Hey, it'll Tommy Stevens. It'll fake-a-roo. Oopsie daisy to my Dale Duncan Busby anytime touchdown. Yeah, I like it. Okay, we're waiting for Farhan Lalji here. While we do, you brought up some futures that are very interesting that you can play. It's actually at sportselect.com on NFL Coach of the Year.
Yeah, well, there's no college basketball, there's no hockey, no NFL right now. So let's dig into the futures and look at the Coach of the Year. It's surprisingly, when I looked at this, I like Mike McDonald, who they just won the Super Bowl. He's 73-1.
What?
Yeah, 73-1. Vrabel,
who won it last year? First off, NFL Coach of the Year.
Vrabel's at 96.
Wow, 96 yards for, or 96-1 for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Sirianni from the Eagles, 73-1. Andy Reid gets Mahomes back, 49-1.
I don't know about that. Last year's Coach of the Year was Vrabel.
Yeah. So this year he's at 96. How many times is it ever back-to-back Coach of the Year? Not often,
with
right?
the scandal, Sedona, Arizona could bite him in the back.
Sean McVay, they added Garrett. He's 39-1.
Wow.
So I put $5 on that.
Who's the favorite?
Harbaugh, 675.
Which one? New York Giants?
Yeah.
Ah. Interesting. Colson, if we have him connected, we can want to go right to him, or do you want to go to break? Your call. We're wait. Break? Okay, we're going to break, and then we're going to have Farhan Lalji. We're going to get him set up, talking some. He called the game last night as well. It's a Sports Cage. We're on the home of sports. We're on the home of football in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM, and streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Play of the game? Touchdown! More like the game to play. The new Saskatchewan Roughriders Scratch and Win ticket. It's your chance to win 10 years of Rider season tickets, a premium suite for the home opener and the Labor Day Classic, and tons of Rider swag. Plus, 2 chances to win $75,000. Tickets available at your favorite lottery retailers. Proudly brought to you by Sask Lotteries, supporting sport, culture, and recreation across the province. Please play responsibly.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza
Western Pizza is more than just pizza, and we don't mean ribs and pasta. But for the record, you can get that there too. No, Western Pizza is the perfect partner for every occasion. From late nights polishing papers to parties full of people passing it around while conversation peaks. It's premium leftovers. It's what you pick up for a picnic on a pristine summer day. And of course, it always pleases the palate. Dine in or take out today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The Roughriders season is here, and the biggest 50-50 in Saskatchewan is back. Last year's 50-50 raised over $3.3 million for amateur football in Saskatchewan, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, Rider Nation. This year, we have bigger loyalty and early bird prizes than ever before, not to mention those life-changing 50-50 jackpots. See all of the prizes and buy your tickets today at riders5050.ca, and never miss a chance to win when you sign up for the 50-50 Club.
Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
Lottery license LR260010.
It's time to get the inside story. TSN's Farhan Lalji on Sportscage is brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit? Cooperators can build a plan that works for you. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
All right. So how was it last? You made it home already? Like, what, did you take a red eye last night?
No, if I had a do-over, I probably would have flown back with the Lions last night because I could have got back last night. But there was a nice, comfortable direct Winnipeg to Vancouver flight at like 10:30 Winnipeg time. So, yeah, it was great. I got to watch my daughter's basketball game, and now here we are.
Right on. Yeah, a lot of people, I'm sure, getting out of Winnipeg for the weekend. A lot of sweatpants and denim on that flight. Farhan, I took them. I took BC -8. I thought,
did you really?
I thought 8's aggressive. I said I like the Salter kid. I know zero about him. I know more about your son than I do the Salter guy. But I'm like, I kind of did a little bit of reading, and I took him anytime touchdown, and he was just down in the first one, right? So, what impressed you with him and the Lions last night?
Well, I think more than anything is it just didn't look too big for him, right? And I asked him about that during the week, that, hey, look, things look good in practice, but, Winnipeg's a tough place to play, 30,000 fans, and it gets loud, and they're good defensively. And he said, look, when he played at Liberty in 2023, they were 13-0, and they got one of the BCS Bowl, one of the bowl championships, the playoff bids, and they got to play in the Fiesta Bowl against Oregon. Stadium was full in Glendale, and looking at stuff, reports and clips of that game, he just, they lost the game by a lot, but it wasn't because he was throwing interceptions and taking time count penalties, right? So I just don't think the stage ever got too big for him. So, he decided pretty early, right, that if the first look's not there, I'm going to take off and run with it. That worked for him, and he didn't force things, right? He took 2 sacks when he could have tried to be a hero. And so that was probably the most impressive thing, is that he took those sacks, and rather than trying to put the ball in harm's way and force things, and they found a way. They almost flipped the script on Winnipeg. Like, you could tell Winnipeg was playing so conservative because they just thought, this guy's not going to be able to move the ball and beat us, so let's just keep the game close. Well, the Lions kind of took the same approach, stayed close, and then in the fourth quarter, it was the visitors that wound up pulling away.
What's the identity of this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team this year? I can't figure them out.
Really bad defense. Like this, it blew my mind that you come off a 52-point performance where you got owned against Calgary, and then you come back into this environment and you had no preparation. Like, just looking at the schematic of how they tried to defend a run-first quarterback, they had no preparation for dealing with him, right? When he was able to run quarterback draws, there was no spy. When he was able to pull the ball in the zone read game and take off and run, nothing. Every time he went to the edge, he had 20 free yards before anybody came close to touching him. It was wild. Jordan Young is a good defensive coordinator. I just could not have envisioned a situation where they looked that unprepared for handling a running, athletic, scrambling quarterback.
Do they have the tools to put it together on defense, or are they just short-staffed? Do they not have the right connections there?
I don't know. I mean, you've still got Willie Jefferson, who's having a renaissance season, way better this year than he was last. Picked up a 6th sack yesterday. Continues to knock down passes. Continues to be a force in the run game. Jake Ceresna, 6 sacks of his own, looks way better than he did a year ago. You've got this Major Williams kid in the secondary. Young guy that is a legitimate CFL player. At linebacker, you've got Jones and Wilson. It's not as good as maybe what Darnell Sankey is or what Saskatchewan has when they're healthy, but still good, solid players. They shouldn't be this difficult. I understand Reddick Crandy's not there, but he can't make that much of a difference, can he? It's just been awful watching the Bombers play defense the last 2 games. They don't look like anything we expect.
Lawrence, I think he's with me, co-hosting. He's got a question on Nathan Rourke. Lawrence,
is Rourke going to be back next week?
I fully expect him to play next week against Hamilton. Yeah, so I think if last week's game was a playoff game, last night's game was a playoff game, I think he would have played. He might have played against Toronto if it was a playoff game. So, it's the non-throwing shoulder. I watched him throw this week. I think they were cautious with it because of the short week for not having him go. But now you've got 10 days between games. I would be shocked if Nathan Rourke wasn't starting on Saturday with Hamilton in Vancouver.
I'm tempted to take Ottawa minus 7 points tonight at home against Montreal. Am I crazy, or can I run this heater back?
Well, if last night was any indication, you're not crazy, right? I picked Winnipeg even with the spread, and I overestimated their offense. And I underestimated just how conservative Mike O'Shea is, right? When you had those chances to score touchdowns and go for it on 3rd down inside BC's 10. Instead, he settles for chip shot field goals. So anything's possible, right? I mean, they had 2 weeks to prepare, Ottawa does. So is that going to change things? Will they have any kind of a different look? How motivated will they be? Montreal's the best team in the league. Sorry, Rider fans. Montreal's the best team in the league. So, I still think Montreal finds a way to...
fans?
I hear you. I'll take Montreal. I'm taking Montreal. I'm sorry, and I think the Elks are for real, but I'm taking Montreal. So for me, I just think that even if Montreal plays poorly and Ottawa plays great, I still think they can find a way to win by 7. How about the over/under last night? I thought the under was an easy play, and then all of a sudden BC rushes for 140 yards in the 4th quarter and puts up 24 points in the 4th quarter and hits the over by 1. Could not have predicted that.
What are you curious to see come Saturday, come tomorrow afternoon in Edmonton?
It's a good question. Losing Roland Milligan is going to be tough. Losing AJ Ouellette is going to be tough. But look, I'm curious to see how Edmonton tries to win this game. And I say that because I get Cody Fajardo, F you, just watch, and everybody's against us, and nobody believes in us, and all that boring, tired storyline. But no one's going to believe he can put up 510 yards again, right? If you ask any defensive coordinator, how would you go about stopping Edmonton? And they'll say, try to force Cody Fajardo to beat us down the field. Right? Take away the run game, take away the screen game, and try to force them to consistently beat us down the field. And he did that against Saskatchewan. They still had so many moments in that game where they could have put it away, but they didn't. So I don't think they're going to be able to attempt to win it that way again. We'll see. You never know. But they're going to try to run the football, and they're going to try to, play their style to begin with and see where it goes. So, do they get greedy and fall in love with what they did last week? And, what's Saskatchewan's game plan here to try and take that away?
Everybody's taking the under. What are you thinking there?
Really?
Yeah.
What's today's number?
Okay. Well, what's the last one we just looked at here? Give me a sec. I've got a number of them up. 59.5.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
a lot of decisions.
I like both defenses, but both offenses have a lot of different ways to move the football. You look at that Saskatchewan receiving core, even with MLS kind of dealing with some stuff. Schaefer Baker's playing at a CFL All-Star level. Keyshawn Johnson's doing the same. Everybody's taking a step forward. So I think that both of these teams have the ability to move the football. And with Saskatchewan's secondary, they've been pretty ordinary this season. right? There's no way around that. They were ordinary last week, and now you lose Roland Milligan. So I think Edmonton's going to find a way to put up points, and I think Saskatchewan's going to have to be aggressive to match.
All right, Lawrence, anything on the football game for Farhan?
Well, just the Riders. I mean, at 4-2 after 6 games, I mean, you take that any day.
Yeah.
It's 6-1 out. But if the Riders lose this one, they're actually 4 games down in the win column because Edmonton has a season series. So don't you look at this as a must-win for the green and white?
Yeah, it's important. It's important. And, I kind of feel like the only reason I'm taking Edmonton in this game is because it's in Edmonton. And it's going to be a fantastic crowd. I know a lot of them will be Rider fans, but I do believe that this game matters more to Saskatchewan than it does to Edmonton. To your point, Lawrence, they need to find a way to get out of this if they still have designs on first place in the division. I know it's early, and it feels crazy that we're saying this in July, and that game is going to take place on August 1st. Usually we're supposed to wait until Labor Day for all this conversation, but, the season starts earlier, right? So we're almost at the midway point. So, yeah, it matters a lot to the Riders.
When you see Trevor Harris scramble, as Rider fans here in Saskatchewan, what do you think?
I would hold my breath and go to church and say some extra prayers to make sure he doesn't get hit. Look, I love Trevor, and I think that he's got to stay healthy, right? Like, that's not his game, so let's not be doing too much of that. But I know that he's hyper competitive. He's going to find any way to win games. But I'll tell you, look, I don't want to see him get hurt. But with Jack Cohn and Braden Schrager behind him, they're as well equipped to deal with a quarterback injury as anybody. Certainly more equipped with BC, who managed to pull off a miracle yesterday. But I don't want to see Trevor Harris running around. You need him for 18 games. You need him healthy in October and November.
Okay, well, and also, Farhan, the challenge flag last week was MLS, and what do you like? Is this doing a lot for the CFL? The challenge flag, like you challenge touchdowns, you challenge.
Sorry, you're talking about the offensive interference?
Yeah. Do you still like? Is it still something that should be looked at throughout the offseason, you think, or is this still a good rule in your mind?
To have instant replay, yeah, I think it's a good rule, right? I think that it fixes more than that. And look, I wouldn't have made that call, but you can't say it was an awful call. Like, I know in Saskatchewan, they'll say it was an awful call. I will tell you it's a close call. It's one I wouldn't have made, but I don't think it was an egregiously bad decision to call that OPI. I would have liked to have seen a little more extension to separate that from a regular hand fight. But I think replay is good for the game. I think they need to leave those tight ones alone. I just think they do, right? Like, I don't think that's what replay was designed to fix. And I want to see them run these things at full speed, right? And I think they have changed their protocols for that. But I want to see them run these things at full speed. We don't need to see that at 50%. We don't need to see that at 70 or 25% slow motion and just freeze it right down frame by frame. That's not what subjective calls should be changed by replay because of.
Last one on the CFL, Calgary Hamilton. Anything intrigue you there? I'm curious if Hamilton, can they put up points? Calgary's defense looks suspect at times. What do you think in that one?
Yeah, I like Calgary. Can Trey Ford do this back to back, right? Like, Trey Ford's not going to put up a lot of points. That's just not kind of how they're wired. And Scott Milanovich will try to protect them a little bit and get other facets of the game involved more, as opposed to trying to, get the ball downfield. And I think Calgary will have a pretty good game plan for how they want to deal with how he likes to take off and run with it. I'm trying to see if Trey Ford can do this again. Scott Milanovich is the best play caller in the league in my mind, right? And if he's unique. He's really good at this in terms of he can flip his offense around in a week. I don't know that that's always a good thing, but he can find a way to take advantage of what his guy does well and avoid what he does poorly better than anybody else, in my opinion. So I think that Scott will give him a chance. I just don't know that this is, a quarterback that's going to offer a consistent way to win. I think there's always going to be some up and downs, so we'll see what side we get from that in Hamilton this week.
Yeah. Do you got a hockey one for him, Lawrence?
Yeah. With Elias Pettersson. He's going through his 5th coach now, and this is his 9th year coming in. And he's got the Sedins now as the co-presidents in Vancouver. Can we see a resurgence from Elias Pettersson?
Well, there's. I'll correct the name because it's Elias Pettersson. Canucks have an Elias Pettersson that plays.
Yeah.
But
he also played with him. Yes.
No, I don't think so. Like a resurgence for Elias Pettersson in Vancouver for me, Lawrence, is going to be: can you become an 80-point player? Right. I think he can get that in his game again. I think he can get back to being an 80-point player. I just don't think it's going to be in Vancouver. I think there's too much scrutiny. New coach or not, he's going to show up at the start of the season. He's going to have bad body language. The first sign of adversity, he's going to turtle. And he's not going to have great players playing around him. So I just don't see a scenario where he could go to California and he could play down there or play somewhere in the U.S. and no one will pay attention to him. And I think that'll be a breath of fresh air. He can get on a better team with some potentially better wingers that suit his style. I don't think he's ever going to get back to being a 100-point player. But I think if he gets to 80 points, he's justifying his salary in the new cap world, and no one's going to be upset about it. I think the club needs to move on, and I think he needs a fresh start. I think I don't know that it'll happen. I think it should for both parties. But a resurgence in Vancouver, I think you got to temper your expectations.
Like 5 coaches in 9 years is a lot. But
it's a lot. Yeah, and and everyone's got a different strategy, right? Like Bruce Boudreau used to put his arms around him and love him, and Rick Tocchet was like unforgiving and said, "Look, we need this." And Rick was right? Like you're 9 years in, you're not a kid anymore. You don't need to be coddled. So I just don't know that a new coach is necessarily going to, Manny Malhotra is going to be an awesome head coach, but I just don't know that he can unlock something there that doesn't want to be unlocked. I think a change is needed for both parties.
Mm-hmm. And so at Farhan, is this baseball coming to Vancouver? Is this a pipe dream, or is this actually something that could happen, like at one point, potentially?
Yeah, I find it hard to believe. I really do. I don't know how much demand there is for baseball in this market. You've got a lot of BC Blue Jay fans that make the trip down to Seattle to watch the Mariners to watch the Blue Jays play the Mariners. You have a lot of Mariner fans that, people in Vancouver that just like Seattle sports teams. And then you've got the Vancouver Canadian fans, right, that go to baseball games, 7,000 strong time. But even with that, I have a difficult time seeing, 30,000 fans at a baseball game 181 times a year. I don't know, but from a city perspective, they're going for it, right? They went through a procurement process to try to find the right guy to spearhead the city's bid. They've circled on a developer named Zach Ross, who's certainly got a lot of means to put a potential group together. And they're going to look at stadiums. They're going to look at Mayor Ken Sim here. He wants this. He wants to find a way to make it work. So, this is much bigger than a city, a city mayor to make something like this happen. This is provincial, even federal, right? When you try to do something like this. So it feels like a pipe dream, but they're not treating it as such at the city level. They really, really want to get this thing going. And, I don't know where Vancouver would stand. There are smaller markets than Vancouver in Major League Baseball, but those might be more passionate historical baseball markets than Vancouver is.
They have to call them the Grizzlies if they get a team.
Why not?
And go with the same logo. Go with the same logo.
I'm in.
Why not? That'd be great.
I'm in. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. I just thought about this. I'll leave it at this. I'm thinking maybe hitting a Saskatchewan anytime defensive touchdown tomorrow. Feeling maybe a D. Maybe
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, Cody back, fumble, scoop. Yeah. I don't know. We'll regroup. I'm on a bit of a heater though, Farhan. I love it. So we'll see where it goes. Thanks for changing times today and making it work. I know you're a busy guy out there. You just got back late or early this morning from Winnipeg. Appreciate you hopping on.
All good, guys. Enjoy the game Saturday.
There it is. There he is. Our football insider from TSN, Farhan Lalji, brought to you by the Cooperators. Time to get financially fit. Give the Cooperators a call and sit down and have a chat with one of their advisors. It's the Sportscage. We are what are we? We're almost 24 hours away from kickoff. Riders and Elks. We are on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Have you seen the patio at Pump Jack's Cathedral?
Seen it? I've practically moved in.
Do they at least charge you rent?
Only if I stop ordering food.
I don't blame you. Great food, daily food and drink specials.
30 beers on tap, including local favorites.
And there's no better place to catch the game with friends.
So what are we waiting for?
I'm waiting for this conversation to be over. Let's go.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
The world is changing. From the misuse of AI and the rise of deepfakes to the dangerous spread of misinformation, it's getting harder for Canadians to separate fact from fiction. That's why having a trustworthy news source is vital. At Global News, we're committed to objective journalism that cuts through the noise. Stick to the facts. Global News, Canada's trusted news.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, the Cooperator Center, Moose Jaw Temple Garden Center, and online at extremehockey.net.
Week 9 CFL continues tonight in Ottawa. The Red Blacks looking for their first win against Montreal. 5:30 our time is kicked. Tomorrow, Elks and Riders starting right here, 2 p.m. on the Roughrider Broadcast Network with Keegan, Dave, Luke, Justin, Wes. Guests will include Tom Sargent, Ryder Varga, Jackson Ford. Riders Elks tomorrow. Kickoff is 5 p.m. If you're going, let us know. 936-6262. Sounds like it's going to be a great one and a big crowd. Western Canadian baseball tonight. Moose Jaw hosting Medicine Hat. Red Sox playing a double dip with Weyburn at Curry Field. First one starting at 6:05. And the Saskatoon Berries are in Swift Current to take on the 57s. Major League Baseball, Toronto, St. Louis tonight. Extreme Hockey and Sport. Back to hockey time. Best trained staff in the area. Top brands. Trusted performance. They got gear for every level of player and every budget. Expert advice that you can trust. They're community focused. Under new management, Extreme Hockey and Sport, McIntyre Street in Regina, Cooperator Center, and the Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. If you're in that area and need anything hockey, the local team at Extreme Hockey can help you out. Lotto Lawrence is with me here for hour 2. Let's go hot takes here for a couple to the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Riders, this guy trumped in on me, Cal and Regina. Riders, 2 special teams touchdowns. That is Cal's hot take for TacoTime. We're playing for a $50 TacoTime gift card now. If you're just tuning in, send in your hot take. Text it in, 936-6262. Nice and short, something crazy. There's been some good ones. There's been some ones that are not so hot, I would say. I like the Tommy Stevens fake run on 3rd and 1, tossing that Kevin sent in. Visit your local Taco Time tonight. Pick up a Mexi Fry. You're not going to be disappointed. You know the drill. It's Taco Time. Cool. Lawrence, I want to talk some of this baseball. I for the life of me can't sing a Major League Baseball team work in Vancouver. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, but they got a lot of people there, right? And they draw well with the Vancouver Canadians, and why not have a second team in the in Canada?
The Canadian dollar and the way that teams spend in the majors, oh boy, I think that'd be really tough. You're a huge Blue Jays fan. Now, I was for about 3 weeks last year. Where are you? Where are you landing right now? Where we sit here, July 31st at the Blue Jays?
well, surprised. I think first of all, I don't think anyone would have thought they'd be in this position as sellers at the deadline. We thought buyers. Where it went last year, but the old adage, and you hear Joe Siddle talk about a lot. He says, your best players have to be your best players, and the best players have underachieved a lot this year. So they need some help, and hopefully they'll get something at the deadline. That could potentially help them. You've got to be creative at the deadline. They got a lot of free agents at the end of the season. I think they open up 80 to 90 million, maybe even more.
Wow.
So there's lots of money to spend in the off season. It's just a matter of where you're going to spend it. You can get some trade. You can do that through trades. I think most of your heavy lifting has got to come in the off season. Most of these teams, there's still a lot of teams out there that are going to be buying. And there's not very many sellers, so I think the price will be quite high. So the Blue Jays should make out okay with some prospects, but you don't get a lot of major league ready guys off rosters this time of year because those teams are going for it as well. So, but I think the most of the heavy lifting will be done in the offseason. But I am surprised that. But is it a 1 year plan, a 3 year plan, a 5 year plan? I think they have to figure that out. And if it's 1 year and you're going to try to retool and go back at it again, then that deadline looks a little different. So.
Who would be the first guy that you think goes?
Well, I think Gausman. He's he loves Toronto. His contract up after 5 years, but he's pitched in the postseason before. So I know he hasn't been great the last 6 starts, but I think he has pretty good value. You should get a Double-A, good prospect for him. If George Springer, he's been hot lately. He seems to be just finding that groove and when you're like, you just look at him in the batter's box right now, and the uniform seems to be fitting good on him, and he just looks good there. So I think you get some value there because he's got some playoff experience, lots of home runs in postseason. Varsho, great outfielder. You can use him as a fourth outfielder, potentially even a center fielder if you need. So yeah, there's some guys there. I don't think you go into something so deep and try to get rid of a Louis Varland, because you got to try to replace that next year, and they just don't grow on trees, Louis Varlands. And maybe Hoffman's got a year control, $11 million next year. So that might be enticing to some teams, but there's a lot of teams that are on low budgets and they don't want to spend. So,
who's your dark horse? If you take the Dodgers, let's take the Dodgers out of it. Do you want to take the Yankees out of it? Who's your dark horse? If you're going to play a little future at sportselect.com, we got about a minute left.
Okay, well, Tampa Bay, it seems to be a team that is okay. I don't mind them in the American League. They've had a pretty decent season. And if you look at the Chicago White Sox, what a rebound they've had this year. If they can get something at the deadline. But I think Atlanta has injuries, but they're getting their pieces back. If they can get a little bit at the deadline, the Braves could challenge the Dodgers, I believe, in the National League.
10.50 on the futures. It's Sports Select for the Braves. Lotto Lawrence was live in studio with us today. Thanks for doing this, buddy. Let's do this again for sure. A wealth of knowledge.
Thanks, Barney, for having me on.
A wealth of knowledge. Coming up in hour 3 of the Sports Cage today, Riders, Elks. Let's go out. We're going to talk. It was a pre-record because he's at a wedding right now. Play-by-play voice of the Elks, Morley Scott, is going to join us. We're going to hear from Jackson Ford, another tease behind the face mask. Mark Killam with an interesting clip. And Prairie Golf Gems today. We're looking at the Manitou Golf Course, a nice 9-banger just outside of Watrous. Say that again, Colson. Oh, yeah. There we go. Sports Cage. We're back in hour 3. Morley Scott will start us off after the news.
Proudly broadcasting from Treaty 4 territory, the homeland of the Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, Saulteaux, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
The news is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of Saskatchewan's biggest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps. CrestviewChrysler.ca.
News is brought to you by Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Call 306-332-6711.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. Sunny and 29 degrees in Regina. I'm Will Manzik from the Sask Today newsroom with 620 CKRM News. As many people head to the lake for the long weekend, Saskatchewan RCMP are reminding people that boats are not exempt from liquor laws. Over a 6-hour period last weekend on Last Mountain Lake, Mounties dumped over 100 containers of alcohol and issued 7 tickets. The tickets covered open alcohol on a boat, operating a boat without a license, and open alcohol on shore. They also issued several warnings for lack of life jacket use. Mounties also conducted an additional 20 mandatory alcohol screenings, with multiple boaters coming close to the provincial suspension limit. Impaired driving remains a leading cause of fatal collisions in Saskatchewan. RCMP say about 45% of fatal crashes this year involve alcohol or drugs, a significant jump from 33% in 2025. Superintendent Grant St. Germain says cannabis has played a role.
We're seeing a lot more drug impaired. I think part of that has to do with legalization of marijuana. People are using drugs and then making the choice to drive, and they're saying, well, it's okay, it's legal to have it and possess it and to use it, but it's not legal to be driving a vehicle.
Police are hoping everyone finds a sober ride home this weekend. A 34-year-old Prince Albert man has died following a suspected hit-and-run collision near McDowell, according to RCMP. Mounties were called to Highway 11 around 1:40 yesterday morning after reports of an injured man. Emergency crews declared the man dead at the scene. The investigation remains ongoing with assistance from a Saskatchewan RCMP collision reconstructionist. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Visitors to the Queen City X are being encouraged to take steps to stay safe in the heat as temperatures climb to the low 30s. Organizers say the fair offers shade areas, hydration stations, water fountains, and air-conditioned buildings for guests needing a break. The event continues at Regina's Real District through Sunday, featuring midway rides, entertainment, food, and live music. Cheaper Tickets has put a smile on the faces of Regina Pats fans. The team made the announcement yesterday, lowering some tickets to a starting price of $12.25. Many Pats fans believe this will lead to better crowds for the WHL season.
Oh man, I'm so excited because you know what? More people, games are going to be back, lots of more supporters, and it's just going to be a great experience.
I think that's a great idea. You'll get more fans in that way. You'll get the younger generation in that way.
The Pats now offer one of the cheapest ticket prices in the league. That's 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sastoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Weather is next.
And now your summer savings report for Crestview Chrysler in Regina. Current conditions include no-charge diesels on select Ram trucks, kicking off a powerful month of savings here in Regina, and adventure seekers can get into a brand new Jeep Cherokee with payment starting at just $279 bi-weekly plus tax. Forecast models are calling for heavy discounts, low finance rates, and serious trade values, all expected to continue throughout the entire month. This has been your summer savings report for Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Regina.
Come on. What happened?
Broken strings again.
That's the third one this summer.
Maybe the beach doesn't like your solos, man.
Hey, man, while you're changing that up, we're going to head to Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Get connected with SaskTel Internet, Max Stream TV, and the latest cell phones. Laptops are in stock at great prices, and once they're gone, prices are going up. So now's the time to buy. Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Weather for next-gen coatings. Spray coatings for truck bed liners, rocker panels, and more. Same company, new name. 1865 McCarra Street, Regina. And Kevin's Marine. Make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. kevinsmarine.com.
In your precision weather forecast, tonight, isolated showers, a southeast wind between 15 to 25 kilometers an hour, a low of 15. Tomorrow, sunny, a southeast wind between 15 to 25, a high of 33. Sunday, mostly sunny, a southwest wind between 20 to 35, gusting to 45, a high of 30. Monday, partly sunny, isolated showers, a high of 21. Tuesday, mostly sunny, isolated showers, and a high of 24. Around the province at this hour, Saskatoon 29, Swift Current 29, Assiniboia 27, Broadview and Moosomin 25, Yorkton and Melville 24 degrees, Estevan at 24, Weyburn 25. Right now in Moose Jaw, a yellow heat warning is in effect. It's sunny. There's a south wind to 28, gusting to 41, and it's 33 degrees. In Regina, it's mainly sunny. There's a southeast wind to 31, gusting to 41, and it's 29 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
For over 40 years, you've known them as Regina's trusted vehicle protection specialists. Now they're introducing the next gen of coatings. New name, new level of protection. They're now next gen coatings. 3 generations of their family have served your family, and that hasn't changed. Same owners, same commitment, ready for the next gen of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards. The company hasn't changed, just the name. Next Gen Coatings, 1865 McCarra Street. The next gen starts now.
At Kevin's Marine, the lineup is stacked and ready. Legendary Lund boats built for serious fishing and non-stop family fun. Stretch out, crank the tunes, and cruise in style on a brand new pontoon from Bentley or Crest. Or drop the throttle and make waves in a 4-wind sport boat. All powered by trusted Mercury 4-stroke motors. Right now, manufacturer rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing. Make decking easy with Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Visit Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel or kevinsmarine.com.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Okay, welcome back. Sometimes in the biz, we got to do a pre-record, it's called, because people have things that come up. Like today, there's a Friday wedding in Edmonton, of all things. Western Pizza, guest hotline, Western Pizza, perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, all the Greek favorites. Morley Scott joining us from the broadcast crew in Edmonton. We were pre-recording this because you have one of those weird Friday I've never been to a Friday wedding.
I haven't either, actually. This is my first one. It's going to be Friday afternoon, I guess this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, depending on how we're phrasing this. But, I'm looking forward to it. Most important thing for me, my grandson's going to be the ring bearer, so that's why I'm going to watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't miss that for sure. What is the mood in the city around the Elks over the last week? Has anything changed?
There's a buzz in this city right now. For the first time, probably in a long time. I mean, the Elks are poised to have a winning record and make the playoffs for the first time since 2019. So, yeah, it is. It's a buzz around town. There's no doubt about that. People are excited. Tickets are going fast. They've been selling they told me about 1,700 tickets are going a day this week. They announced they're going to announce at some point, today or tomorrow, again, depending on how we look at things, they're going to open up the upper deck, it looks like. So that's the first time that's happened since they closed it a couple of years ago. So there's a buzz. Right now they're about 25,000 sold, and they're looking at Chris Morris, Elks president, said he thinks they got a chance to best the 32,300 that Winnipeg had as the best crowd of the season so far in the Canadian Football League. So there's Rider fans are obviously helping. I know it's a long weekend. Some of them are going to make the drive. There's obviously some who live here too, but it's obviously going to be a great atmosphere with a lot of fans there, and you can't complain about that at all.
That is great. Yeah, that's just good for the league. That's what people want to see again. Because I think a lot of people, Morley, and people that have been texting in to the show here, it's like, all right, let's see now if there's still football fans in Edmonton. And from all accounts, there is, and we could see a lot of them coming out this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And there's the people are talking about the Elks again. And that's awesome. I think the thing that everybody's not surprised at, but happy to see. I know I was talking to defensive back Cordell Jackson this week, and he said, I asked him, do you feel the buzz? And he said, yeah. He said, usually I'm out somewhere and someone go, oh, you play for the Elks. That's cool. But he says, now they're going, oh, you play for the Elks? That's awesome. Keep going. You guys are going great. Like, there's a general enthusiasm around town about the Elks. And I'm having people reach out to me and say, hey, can you get me tickets? Can you get me tickets, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
And I just send them the link to the Ticketmaster box office, and they can buy their own tickets, right? But people want to go to the game. There's an excitement out there because of the way the Elks have played this year, and especially because of that game on Thursday night in Regina and how well they played in that game and how exciting. That's one of the best games I've ever seen, one of the best games I've ever broadcast in my 16 years of doing this. There hasn't been many games better than that, especially in the regular season.
Okay, I want to ask you. You get a great seat for the game. It was an absolute classic. What surprised you in that game, Morley?
That it went over. I mean, two best defenses in the league, and they put on a show, right? All those yards, all those points. We were going into it talking about how this is probably going to be. This could be like a 19-18 game or 24-21 kind of a game. But they blew up. They blew up real good. I mean, both offenses were great. The Elks especially. I mean. We just saw Austin Mack there. He had a career game, 170-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. Best game of Cody Fajardo's career, too, 510 yards and 4 touchdown passes. Never done that before in a game. And it just was one of those nights where everything clicked, especially offensively for the Elks and a little bit for the Riders. And I mean, I'd love to see that game just keep going. Like, let's play 5 quarters because this is so entertaining.
Did you think when they lined it up there for the kick, do you think he had it in him?
He kicks from a great distance in practice, but that's off a tee with no one, no one rushing at him. He's pretty cool. He's pretty calm. It didn't surprise me that he hit it because I've seen him kick the ball that far. The farthest he's kicked in a game was 52 yards. The farthest attempt he had was 54 yards, which he missed. But and that would have been good from about 70, I think. He really hammered that, and it was right down the middle too.
Yeah, no, it was great. I don't know if you're doing any other shows this week, but I feel instantly there was the respect level for the Elks and Cody Fajardo moved up in the league. It was there probably for you being so close to the team, but even us here, I'm like, okay, the Elks are for real.
Well, I think that win in Regina even proves something to Elks fans, right? And to me and to media and to everybody that, they are who they say they are, as the old saying goes, right? So they, it's everyone. Last year they found ways to lose those games. This year they're finding ways to win those games, and that's the big advantage they have this year. And you talk about the respect for Cody Fajardo. I'll say this all day long. I didn't disrespect Cody Fajardo, but I didn't know him, and I didn't put him in that upper echelon of quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League when I was watching him on other teams. Now that I get to see him day in and day out, and I get to talk to him every day at practice, and I get to see how he works in practice, and I get to see him in games, and just that warrior mentality that he has, and the leadership that he has, I don't know if this is a hot take or not or out of the box, but I think Cody Fajardo might be the most disrespected quarterback in CFL history for what people have said about him and what he's accomplished in the CFL. It just doesn't match. I mean, he's a Grey Cup winner. He's a Grey Cup MVP. He's got a winning record. He's been given a team this year that floundered last year, and he's got him at 6-1. And all the players point to him. Even defensive guys talk about what an important player he has been to this franchise this year.
I would be surprised if we see Justin Rankin under 40 yards again, under 50 yards for that. I think the Riders did a great job in that respect. There was miscommunications in the secondary. We saw that. You've been watching this team closely. Was it a matter of, the focus was on Rankin, and then maybe that's where it opened up? There was some miscommunication, and then we forgot about guys like Austin Mack?
To a certain extent, and I think the Riders' defense was trying to, because, let's face it, Cody's rep is short passes, right, and get the yak yards, and I think their style was, okay, let's take those short passes away, which they did. So Cody went deep, and went deep with a lot of success. What he had, like 4 30-plus yard passes, I think it was, one for 81, one for 68. So yeah, he went deep with it and got some help with the legs of the receivers with the yak yards coming after that. As far as the run game goes, It's kind of a mystery to me because 3 of the last 4 games, Rankin's kind of had a tough time getting going, and defensive coordinators are pretty smart, and they're also copycats, and they saw what BC did to him in Kelowna that kind of ended his wicked start to the season. And I think teams are copying that a little bit, and he's anxious to get back out there and get the yards. But he continues to say, talking to him this week, he says, I don't care how many yards I get. We're getting wins. That's all that matters. If I got a block to help us be successful, that's what I'm going to do. If I have to be a decoy, that's what I'm going to do. He's the total team guy through this. And sooner or later, he's going to explode again. He's going to get 100 yards again, I would think. And maybe that's on Saturday / tomorrow night. I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. But definitely, teams are gearing for him a little bit more, and he's going to have to, along with offensive coordinator Jordan McSimic, find a way to break out of that.
I had Javon Leake anytime touchdown, so that hit. I was pretty happy about that. And then going back to the over under, you're baiting me. Everybody, I'm getting baited to take the under.
It's got to be under this week, doesn't it? It has to be.
I know, man, but that's going to be a Saturday.
What's it at now? Do you know? Last I saw it was like 59.5. I don't think they'll get there.
I saw 59.5. I also saw 60. So it might be an on the boat Saturday morning decision that I make what I'm going to do. The weather looks great, obviously, as well. Any changes that you know about for the Elks going in? Like I know here, AJ Ouellette is going to be out. Ryder Varga is in. Any changes from the Elks?
Looks like Carter O'Donnell's going to be back on the offensive line. He practiced this week and was a full participant. He missed. He left 2 weeks ago. He left with a knee injury. Missed the game last week in Regina, but's been practicing this week, and it looks like he's going to be good to go. And that's a big improvement for them because they played in Regina with their 3 interior offensive linemen all on the injured list. O'Donnell, David Beard, and of course Coulter Wood-Manzi, who's been there since week 1. So they're slowly starting to get healthy. Nick Anderson is close to returning. He's got one more game to go on the injured list. So after this week, I think he'll be back in the lineup as well. So they're starting to get healthy. We're waiting for Joe Robustelli to play. He was close to playing. I talked to him day 2 of 2 weeks ago, and he was coming back to play that home game. And then he was all excited about going to Regina and getting his ring and having a little celebration there. He was all excited about it. And then next day he's on the 6-game injured list. He was fine in practice, and then that night something tweaked in his hamstring, and then he's on the 6-game injured list. He was out this week just running on the sidelines a little bit, so that's a good sign. But he's a guy they're going to add at some point, and that'd be a pretty good add to them when get halfway through the season or so, and all of a sudden you add Joe Robustelli to your offense. That's going to be a pretty good move, I think.
Let's hope for another instant classic. That's a Saturday night.
That's the thing. That can they do it again? Like we've seen so many games. You guys have seen it in the series with Winnipeg, right? On Labor Days, we've seen it in the series with Calgary. And the first game is if it's good, the second game usually isn't as good. And if the first game is bad, sometimes the second game is good. The difference here, though, is they don't have the quick turnaround, right? Yeah. There's 8 days between games. Yeah. They got time to rest. They got time for the coaches to cook something up. So there's a chance that this game maybe will have some of what we saw last week. But there's a lot of adjustments, I think, that are going to be made, especially on the defensive side of the football for both teams. So we'll see how the offenses respond to what the defenses throw at them on Saturday.
The big question is, will the wedding be a buffet or a sit-down plate served thing?
I got buffet on my tag.
Okay.
You always got to hope for a buffet, right? Yeah. That's the best part. So,
and
then the pizza at the midnight bar, right? That's what I'm looking forward to. So.
Beauty. All right, have a great call. It should be a good one, and we'll catch up again, Morley. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, anytime. Good to talk to you.
There it is. Hey, play-by-play voice of the Edmonton Elks join us here. He's at a wedding right now, so a little pre-record for you there. Getting ready for the game tomorrow. Ooh, she should be a Danny. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the Edmonton Elks. Countdown to kickoff with Tegan Whitco and Wes Cates is at 2. The pregame show is at 4. And kickoff with Luc Mullinder and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Claus, Sask Party Government Caucus, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
They could have just called it a flooring store.
Yeah, but that doesn't really cover it.
Carpet, hardwood, laminate.
Outdoor flooring, artificial turf, rubber athletic flooring.
Hey, that's more than a store.
Exactly. That's a superstore.
So whether it's your living room, your garage, your gym, or your backyard,
think bigger, think super. I think you've got it now.
Flooring Superstore. Quality floor. Over 20 years serving Regina and area. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Pizza is like spending quality time with your significant other. When it's hot, it's awesome. When it's cold, it's awesome. And it's even better when it's Western Pizza. Unlike fast food, you can warm the leftovers up at work the next day and not stink out the lunchroom, like Dolores and her fish. Or go for a walk at lunch and eat it cold. The world is your oyster. But this time, your oyster is delicious Western Pizza.
And get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
Out here in southern Saskatchewan, the sun shows up for work every day. Might as well make it earn its keep. That's where Keln Solar comes in. These folks travel all over the province helping people put solar on their homes, farms, and cabins. They're local guys, Sask-born, Sask-raised, and not going anywhere. Except, to your place. Now's the time to start planning for spring and summer 2026 bookings. Give Keln Solar a call and they'll come show you your best options. Keln Solar. They move the power so you don't have to. KelnSolar.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
We got kickoff in about 7-8 minutes time in Ottawa. Montreal taking on the winless Red Blacks. I took the Red Blacks -8. I don't know. And Eugene Lewis anytime touchdown. Let's see what happens. Elks Riders tomorrow, right here on the Rider Broadcast Network, starting at 2 p.m. Kickoffs at 5. Tegan, Wes, Justin, Dave, Luke. They'll have guests like Tom Sargent, head coach of the Hilltops. Regina native Ryder Varga making his first start with the Riders. And I got a little behind the face mask with Jackson Ford. We got a tease coming up for you in that. Western Canadian baseball tonight in Moose Jaw. Medicine Hat's back in town. Two of the top teams in the league there. Weyburn is at the Regina Red Sox. They're going to doubleheader. First one is at 6:05 tonight at Curry Field. And the Berries, Swift Current, 7:05 in Swifty. Blue Jays and St. Louis just hitting the diamond, starting that series in St. Louis. It's for Steelcraft Doors in Regina, Prince Albert, Saskatoon, made in Western Canada for Western Canada, covering all of Saskatchewan. Steelcraft Doors. Okay, I teased it. I said it just moments ago. Jackson Ford behind the face mask. I sat down or stood and interviewed him this week. Fun interview. Off football for the most part. He's a Regina boy, so I had to ask him the quintessential Regina question. All right, this is a tricky one. You could do one. You could build a roof on this thing or an overpass on Ring Road. What would you do?
I don't mind the open roof here. I think I'd do the overpass.
Regina boy Jackson Ford behind the face mask. That was awesome.
Buddy.
That was fun. That was fun, yeah. So that's coming up tomorrow on the program. The other thing, we've been kind of saving this, Colson and I, Mark Killam, head coach of the Edmonton Elks. I said it all week. I gained a lot of respect for the Elks last Thursday. I'm hoping we see an absolute shootout again tomorrow in Edmonton. Mark Killam was on the Reed Wilkins show, Edmonton Sports Talk. Killam talks about how they kind of, the team and Fajardo have this like Rodney Dangerfield feel to them.
Cody Fajardo, I mean, what can you say? Week 8 player of the week. He had 4 long play completions, 30 yards plus. He had a perfect passer rating. Is this, do you think a performance like that, it just puts to rest the detractors and shuts up the detractors about Cody Fajardo?
Nope. I don't think so. I don't think he gets any respect. I think our team doesn't get any respect. They're still going to say Montreal's better than us. They said last week Saskatchewan's better than us, and I'm fine with that. I mean, we're a team with a chip on its shoulder. That's how we roll. That's how Cody rolls. That's why I love him. And we try to play that game. We try to use that to drive us forward. Cody was slinging it last week. He was seeing the football, seeing the field well, finding the people that were open and making, we had like 6 big plays in that game. I just in practice today, he looked the same. So, I think, that's part of who he is. That's part of who we are as a football team. And I'm just fine with that.
Interesting. I kind of agree with him, to be honest. It was our first day of the TacoTime hot take on the show. So before game days, for the rest of the season, $50 TacoTime gift card offer. We had some good ones. We've had some good ones. You still got some time to get it in. Colson's going to pick it at the end of the show. Johnny Johnson, 2 touchdowns. That was Merv and Moose Jaw. Jackson Ford, another 3rd and short stop. Nigel and Regina texted in that one. Albert Awachi touchdown. Ray from Hudson Bay sent that in. Riders, 2 special team touchdowns. That was Cal in Regina. The Tommy Stevens throwing 3rd and 1 to Del Duncan Busby. There were some good ones. 936-6262. Chance to win a $50 TacoTime gift card. And if you're going to the game, you're lucky. The tailgate, mentioned this earlier. Make sure you go check out the tailgate. Luc Mullinder's coming up still to break down the game if you missed it in hour 1. And then when we come back from break, we're looking Prairie Golf Gems. We're looking at the Manitou Golf Course outside of Watchers, Saskatchewan. We're the home of local sports, the Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Winter in Saskatchewan tests everything, our patience, vehicles, and sometimes our bumpers. From icy parking lot dings to serious highway mishaps, choosing local matters. At Regina Motor Products Collision Center, we're Saskatchewan owned, run, and we drive these roads too. An SGI accredited full-service collision center working on all makes and models. Submit your SGI claim and book your appraisal. It's easy. When you need repairs you can trust, it's neighbors helping neighbors. Regina Motor Products Collision Center, south at Highways 1 and 6 Albert Street, rmpchevrolet.com.
Why test for asbestos? Because before 1990, asbestos was commonly used in more than 3,000 building materials and other products. Because when asbestos fibers become airborne, they get into the lungs and cause severe damage over time. Because asbestos exposure is the #1 cause of work-related deaths in Saskatchewan. Built before 1990? Test for asbestos. Start at worksafesask.ca.
Have you looked at the outside of your home lately? Whether it's the deck, garage, siding, stone, or shingles, Freeze Tallman has the products to help bring your next project to life. From composite and pressure-treated decking to railing and exterior finishes, they've got everything you need to refresh your home and backyard. Start planning today at freezetallman.com. Freeze Tallman. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From power tools to skid steers, they probably have what you need for your job. 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. Welcome back to Sportscage. Check out our podcast powered by Freeze Tallman. Available anytime, anywhere at 620ckrm.com and sportscage.com.
Covering local sports like no one else in Saskatchewan, it's time for Prairie Golf Gems. Brought to you by Cooper Tire and your Cooper Tire dealer across Saskatchewan and Flooring Superstore. Trent Dickin and his team, Park Street, can help you cash and carry prices. If you want to do it yourself, tough to beat. Or they can find someone, any kind of flooring. We're talking indoor, outdoor. We're talking gymnasium flooring, carpet, hardwood, whatever you need. Flooring Superstore. Okay, Prairie Golf Gems. Here we go. Chas Potter's joining us. Manitou Beach Golf Club. Oh, a nice 9-banger. A nice 9-hole. Now, Chas, I've never played it. I've been by it. I've driven the course. It looks like one of those fun, Sasky 9-hole tracks with great greens.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful 9-hole golf course. Well-manicured. Well-maintained. Some tough holes. Some not-so-tough holes. But a very fair course. Greatly priced. Yeah, come on down to Manitou Beach. If you haven't played it yet, it's worth the drive.
Let's talk about that, because I'm seeing some of the pictures here, and I'm like, oof, yeah, there's some trees. So there's some trouble. You got to hit some shots there.
Yeah, you start on hole 1, and everyone says it's like hitting it down a hallway. It's a very tough opening hole. And then you get a couple easy ones until you get to hole 4, which I think is one of the toughest par 3s that we have in the province. For anyone that's played it would agree with me, I'm sure. Very small turtleback green, beautiful, tough, challenging par 3. Then you got some scoring holes coming in, and number 9's a beautiful hole right along the highway, over some water, some nice sand traps in the way. Yeah, beautiful course.
So would that par 3, would that be kind of the signature hole if we were going to single out one?
Well, after you play it, most people want to bring in a bulldozer and get rid of it. But yeah, it's a very challenging hole. It's one, if you hit the green, you only got a 15, 20 footer for bird. The green is so small, but yeah, beautiful hole. I would call it our signature hole. It's one, if you make a birdie on, you're going home happy.
So now some people might be listening from who knows where in the province and going, Manitou, I don't know where that is. So you're just outside Watrous, Saskatchewan. But then the beauty part too is we got the beach out there, we got the spa, you got a drive-in, you got a campground. It's kind of everything around Manitou.
It's an awesome spot, yeah. Like we talked about before, having that drive-in there, lots of people don't even know it's still going, but the drive-in's hopping. We got Spider-Man on this weekend. One of the nicest campgrounds around, right across from the golf course. You got the mini golf course right close, and then just down the hill is the famous Manitou Beach Lake that you can float in. They got the spa. You got Mike's Beach Bar afterwards. Yeah, you got everything you need at Manitou Beach.
What about events out there? Like I've kind of noticed, maybe through the Facebook or online, there's a lot of junior events, which is great because we need juniors playing the game. Are there any events coming up in August or September that we can kind of circle on the calendar maybe for the public?
Yeah, it's one thing that we pride ourselves at Manitou Beach has been running the junior program. I mean, it was a big part of my childhood. I lived in Watrous. All our buddies, we'd have locker rooms at the course. We'd ride our bike out, golf all day, then ride our bike home when it was starting getting darker. We had no more money left for French fries. Our junior program has over 50 kids in it. We just had our Centennial Ford-sponsored par 3 golf tournament, which was always a big hit. We got our junior lessons that just finished with over 60 kids in it. And in August, we got our members tournament left. August 16th, we have our junior adult tournament, which is always a good time. It's just such a great place for the juniors. I mean, a junior membership's $150. It hasn't gone up in 20 years. We love seeing the juniors out there, and that's one thing my wife and I, Jennifer, and now my daughter, who's running the pro shop, also Taylor, we take great pride in that junior program.
That's great. I'm looking online. If people want to go, ManitouGolf.com. The green fees are really reasonable. $30 for 9 holes, $48 for 18. Like you said, juniors, $10 to go and play 9 holes. That's great. Chas, anything else that we missed on the course to get people to get people out there? Maybe go to the website, check it out if they want to go first too.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on down. Mulligan's Grill is there now. It's been there the last couple of years. We get so many compliments on the restaurant side of things. We got Scott Collins, who is a local boy running the maintenance side of things, doing a great job. We got my wife, my daughter, a great staff out there running the pro shop. Lots of people come from the cities to get away from, the fast pace. It's a little more laid back at Manitou Beach. Great golf course, great price, great food. You got everything you need there. The beers are always cold.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Chas, thanks so much for doing this today and giving us, shedding some light on Manitou Beach Golf Club.
Yeah, thank you very much, Barney, for this opportunity, and look forward to seeing a lot of new faces down at Manitou Beach.
ManitouGolf.com. That's where you'll find it online. What a nice little 9-hole track. Lots of activity out there, too. If you're looking to get away for a weekend, I bet you September is really nice out there. Haven't been to a drive-in theater in a long time. That'd be great. Thanks to our sponsors, Cooper Tire. Cooper Tire, whatever you need, whether it's all seasoned or for sport, farm, whatever. Visit your Cooper Tire dealer. They're the sponsor of this, along with Flooring Superstore, Trent Dickin and his team. 20 years in the business, cash and carry prices tough to beat, or they can do it as well if you don't want to get the flooring done yourself. And we're talking all kinds of flooring with Flooring Superstore. Prairie Golf Gems. If you have one that you want us to cover, let us know. 936-6262. Shoot us a text. We'll try and track it down. Maybe there's a nice 9-hole in your area that we haven't featured, or an 18-hole all across the province, because all you listeners are from all across the province. Again, thanks to Cooper Tire, thanks to Trent Dickin and Flooring Superstore, and of course, thanks to Chas and his team, the family-run operation at Manitou Beach Golf Club. It's a Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. And streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
It's the perfect place to hold your event. It's the perfect place whether it's for a trade show, fundraiser, dance recital, company team building event, or off-site business meeting. It's the